Don't forget to like this video if you like it, click subscribe, click notifications for future contents, and don't forget to share it with a friend. Don't forget to like this video if you like it, click subscribe, click notifications for future contents, and don't forget to share it with a friend.
Shalom, shalom. Greetings, everyone. Blessings, blessings. How are we? How are we? How are we? Greetings. Welcome to Masculinity Mondays here on Digging in the Word. I am your host, Mike Allen. Mike Allen and friends. I have my family in the backstage, and I'm going to bring them on, but I just wanted to greet you all as we're going to get in and dig it in and get it started. Digging in the Word. All right, so here they go. Shalom, shalom, blessings.
Hello, everybody. Hi.
All right,
Shalom,
how's everything?
Brother Michael.
How's everything?
Brother
How's everything?
Germany.
Good. How are you guys doing? We have another week of Masculinity Monday, another week.
Oh my God, y'all is so gracious.
Yes, he
The
is.
Father
Yes,
is so merciful.
Yes,
we made
he
another
is.
week, Brother Jeremy. Another week has passed.
Yes, it has.
So soon? These days be going by quick, man.
Quickly, yes.
Crazy.
That's what happened. Crazy.
And there's time. I mean, time is just so precious these days. It was always precious, but even more so now.
Yes, and that's why we have to make it count. You know, we have to make the time count. Yeah, have to make it count.
Especially coming into this truth. You are right, sister. It's coming into this truth, man. You want to do the work that's set here for you. And it always seems like, you wake up, now it's time to go back to sleep.
Yeah, but there's so much to do. The harvest is
harvest is plenty, laborers a few, right?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Wow. I'm so happy to see our regular brothers here. Brother Beard.
Yes, Brother Beard. All that beard.
Very good encouragement to always have you around.
Yes.
And then we have also here Brother Archie L.
Yes,
Shalom.
Yahuel. Blessings. Shalom to you, brother. Blessings. Good. All right. Good. Oh man, I have this banner up. Didn't mean to have that banner up. How did I do that?
Brother Allen just giving us a sneak peek.
Yeah, I'm giving you sneak peeks. You're starting to see sneak peeks before we get started. Oh man. Wow. All right. Good. Great. So, Brother Jay, you be so kind of open us up with a word of prayer. Let's get this started.
Yes, ma'am.
Folks have been waiting.
Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, so we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Father Elohim, we thank you tonight for bringing me and us together as brothers and sisters to congregate over your word, Father. I ask and pray, Elohim, that your spirit of truth go forth tonight. Your spirit of knowledge, wisdom, and your spirit of discernment, Father, so we may all be able to see beyond the limitation of our five senses. But also, Lord, so that we might come into the understanding of your word in this great lesson that our dear brother Allen has brought forth to us. In Yeshua, mighty name, Father, I ask and pray. Amen and amen.
Amen and amen. God is wonderful. Let me put my phone on vibrate before someone calls me. Yeah. So, yes. All right. So, announcements before we get started. Thank you for that prayer, Brother Jay. For those of you coming in tonight, if you weren't on our stream this past Shabbat morning, we made an announcement, a significant announcement. Due through the course of the past, say, several months, Sister Deborah and I have been noticing a decrease in views with the channel slowing down, and it's been increasing right over the past few weeks. And so Sister Deborah has been doing a lot of things to help each of our channels because she's a very analytical woman. So she's been looking and digging and trying to figure out what is the source, why is this happening? This wasn't happening before to this degree. What is going on? And lo and behold, she discovered that my channel has been what is called shadow banned, which means that YouTube intentionally suppresses it through the algorithm. And I had already had some copyright strikes. Some of the content that we put out there, it's quote unquote considered offensive, right? To the venue that we happen to be on, this platform called YouTube, right? And since we are in their house, there are things that they don't like and that they find offensive. And some of the videos had gotten strikes, but they just pretty much just told me that it wouldn't be and it was really more so copyright strikes that I noticed, right? And then one was when we did the worship mirrors, sex mirrors worship. I had a thumbnail up with a man and a woman laying down. You really just saw the man's head and a woman's head. That was it. They said that was, a too explicit, right? So they blacked it out and they told me that I could put a different. So I did. I took the man and the woman out. And there's some racy thumbnails that are out there, by the way, if you haven't seen them before. But it was nothing extreme about that. But that's what they did, right? And then not only that particular series has been flagged, and so that means that they're not showing it. So when you come onto my channel, you can't find the series that we did several Masculinity Monday back, about 3-4 parts on how sex mirrors, particularly polygamy sex mirrors and entails worship. And so they pulled that series down. Then come to find out there were other videos on my channel that they pulled down. And so she did an analysis and then come to find out they were pulling down some of her videos, right? Because I was like, Deborah, we collaborate. And so, if we're live and streaming together, then there's a good chance that they are affecting your channel as well. You create more content than I do in terms of videos. I know I do more live streams, but you do more videos. Sure enough, they have been doing that to her channel.
Yeah, they've been flagging it.
These are things that you wouldn't know, right? You wouldn't know until you notice the digging and so forth and whatnot. So on your channel, you can see all of the videos, but when someone else is watching your channel, you can see the videos. And so she did an analysis test and discovered that they had actually flagged and are not showing over 60% of my videos. And I have like close to 300 videos.
You have a lot of videos.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos, right?
And
I started YouTube. I just made 7 years this past Friday, right? I made 7 years creating content. I started the channel in August of 2018, and I uploaded my first video this past Friday 7 years ago. So a lot went into creating all of this content, only to have the enemy pretty much do what it's been doing. And so Deborah's been streaming pretty much since last year around this time, and they're hitting her channel. So we realized that we're not going to stop the message. We're not going to stop the content that we're creating, as we have an audience, right? We just have to be mindful of how we say what we say, as rather than not saying what we got to say, because we still going to say what we're going to say. But we have to be more tactful in how we say it, because we recognize that we are in someone else's home. in addition to that, we also are strategically seeking out other platforms to live stream on, where we can do more uncut, versions of whatever it is that we're doing here. But we're going to continue doing content on YouTube. We just have to be mindful, because they can go from taking down 60% of your content to just deleting your channel altogether. So we don't want to step into that mud. And so we just need to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves at the same time.
Yeah.
Sister D, you want to add anything I might have missed?
No, I'm agreeing with you. And I love it that our brothers are here. So the best thing they can do is always to share, like, leave something in the chat. It helps to basically also give your email address in case you can't get notifications, because this is a random thing. When YouTube shadow bans, they call it, they don't do it so
Yes.
obvious. And
Yes.
so sometimes you can see the video, sometimes you can't. It randomly changes based on the algorithm.
Right.
So you won't always get everything that we produce for the week, and you think, oh, we're not producing, and we actually are making videos. Yeah.
Yes. And so we are. Yeah. So that's it. And that's the key. We will continue to, and definitely join the email list. My email is streaming. It's going to be streaming most of as well as Sister Deborah's email. Join, our email us so that we will have your email address, so that we can shoot and send you new links or whatever it is that we may be doing in terms of the video. We can't depend on YouTube to promote for us at this point in time, right? Because last week too, did you mention that last week Tuesday, I put up the link for this past Shabbat, and I put up the link for tonight, right? I did it like last week Tuesday, last week Wednesday,
a whole week ago. Yeah.
Yeah, went on to my channel and wasn't able to see it posted up, right? Or went on through my other channel. Sister Deborah went through her channel, wasn't able to see it, right? So they weren't promoting the live streams that we pre-scheduled in advance. So if you guys don't know because they're not doing it, then you and that can be a random video. Like we could be putting out a random video, and if they don't give you a notification, how do you know? I remember Brother Graybeard said about a month or so ago or more that he didn't get a notification when we first came back, right? Back in July. So, so this is really what they're doing. And as we do more research and we look at other content creators about this particular issue that we're having, is happening across the board.
Yeah, it is not for many topics. Yeah.
Yes, many topics. And it's much larger platforms are really getting hit with, these creators are losing tens of thousands of dollars, because of this, right? So it only behooves us as creators to moving forward is just to be more creative and to take more control of our audience. So we definitely have to have a mode of communication with you guys, right? And so we encourage you, please email me, give me your email address, your contact information, and in that way we can stay in contact, and then whatever announcements or whatever it is that we have, I can message you, Sister Deborah can message you, and we can do this moving forward, right? So that we can continue spreading the word, right?
That's
I talk
the
too
goal.
much.
No, that's the goal. That is the goal. No, you don't. It's your show.
But I felt like I was talking too much. All right. Maybe I need a drink of my iced tea. All right, so here we go. Once again, we want to welcome everyone to Masculinity Mondays with Mike Allen and friends. I am Mike Allen, and this is my family here on the stage. Sister Deborah, Brother Jeremy, Sword of the Lord, or the Word of the Lord. Many, your title, brother, be mixing me up.
It's okay. It's okay, man.
Between one brother he looks at the show and he joins in regularly. His is Sword of the Lord's. Yours is the Word of the Sword.
It's a tongue
So,
twister now.
you know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't even remember the title that we did the other day. You know how I am. Like, okay,
Right.
what title did we do?
Ju-
My memory is
Just,
shot, huh?
just say somebody. Just say
Somebody.
somebody.
Yeah,
Because
somebody.
I'm part of the friends.
He
So you
part
need
of
to
the
say the
friends, right?
names.
Right.
So yeah, cool.
All right, good. All right, so here we go. So tonight's topic, is she monopolizing your time? Fellas, is she monopolizing your time? Is she monopolizing your time? Is she housing all of your time? That's what we're going to deal with tonight. That's the topic for tonight. We're going to get into this. We're going to dig into this one. Before we get started, the question is, what does it mean to monopolize someone's time? What does it mean to monopolize someone's time? Anybody want to take a crack at it? You folks in the chat room, any of you on the panel, what does it mean to monopolize someone's time?
Well, the question says, "Is she?" So I think it'd be only fair if we allow the our sister on the panel to take a crack at this first.
She don't know
would
nothing about
know,
monopolizing
right? About
time.
monopolizing a man's time, right?
But Brother Bear beat me to it. So
Agree.
Brother Gray Bear says take up every available moment.
Take
Yeah.
up every available moment, right? She takes up
And
every available moment.
I was a big fan of, I still am, of the game Monopoly anyway. It was my favorite board game of all time. And so I basically see it like the woman owns the whole board and the man only has two options. It's get her out of jail free or pass go and collect the money to give to me, you know.
Good. I'm glad you brought up the Game Boy Monopoly.
Uh-huh.
What is a monopoly? Let's
Well, yeah.
break it down to a lower level. What is a monopoly?
When you have everything, when you have all the company, all the land.
All the what is a monopoly
Resources.
technically?
When you control most of the resources.
When you control most of the resources. Okay, I can see that. I can see that. I can see that. Alphabet. Alphabet. When a woman wants to take a man's attention away from his mission on objective, right? Okay.
Welcome, Brother Brian. That's it. Yeah. What is it, brother? Michael, what do you think? What's a monopoly? This is the baby.
This one right here,
Monopoly.
This one right here monopolizes my time.
Oh, look at this.
She's 3 months and she's holding her bottle.
Isn't that cute? Oh
She's 3 months and holding her bottle. She's holding her bottle.
She's memorizing. She has a spell on you.
She said, "Daddy, wait." She said, "Daddy, wait till you finish this drink."
I'll tell you about monopolizing time.
I got plans for you, Daddy.
That is beautiful.
Okay. All right. What do I think? Well, monopoly. Well, a monopoly is a business term. And it is usually when a business or a company becomes so big, no one else can thrive. No other business can thrive in that particular sector. To give you right. So to give you an example, here, some decades back, and I'm telling my age, there was this company called Bell, right? Named after Alexander Bell, right? And it was the Bell Telephone Company, right? Bell was so big, no one else could enter into that sector and thrive.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so there's a law here in the United States Federal Constitution, right, against monopolies, because there has to be free trade. It's unfair when one company owns or controls all of the entire sector. It's one thing about controlling a large business or controlling a business, but it's another thing when your business controls the whole sector.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so then what happened was, the government made them bust up
Mm.
into smaller companies, right?
Mm.
To
Mhm.
give other businesses opportunity to be able to come in, right? And sometimes, companies become so big that the government here becomes on alert and be fearful of the potential of that company becoming like what Marbell was, right? And
For the
so,
industry that they're in. Okay.
right,
Mhm.
in the industry
Mhm.
that they're in, right? And so,
Mhm.
one store in particular would be your Walmart here, right?
Mm.
There are regions and there are places, there are locales that Walmart cannot get into. And the reason being, like, say, for instance, I live in New York City, right?
Mhm.
Walmart cannot come into New York City
Really?
Oh, really?
because there's too many small businesses that would be impeded and affected by Walmart if it came into the city.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So it would be a problem if they came in.
Really?
Right.
Really?
Right. Antitrust is the law. Right.
Is
Exactly.
it?
Exactly.
Really?
It's
Okay.
antitrust law. Sounds like the Google cooperation. Yeah. And kind of like
Mm.
what we were explaining in terms of what's going on with us, right?
Mhm.
Um, but there are other platforms, right? Thankfully so. Like
Mm.
um YouTube is not the only one. It's the largest, but it's not
Mm.
the only one, right? And so yeah, that's really what's going on. So now let's transition that to this topic, right? Is she monopolizing your time? Is she consuming up all of your time to the point where nothing else can get some time in? That's what the
Or
question
no
is
one
asking.
else.
Or no one else, or nothing
Mhm.
else.
Nothing else. Uh-huh.
Nothing
Mm.
else matters, right?
Mm.
Is she monopolizing your point? Meaning, is she cornering all of your time, preventing anyone or anything else from having access of your time?
Has that ever
That's what
happened to you, brother Jeremy? Have you ever been
yeah,
in that
yeah, yeah,
situation?
yeah. Anybody have an end all be all woman?
Or
Oh,
had
yeah.
one in the
Yeah.
past? Have you? Yeah?
Yeah. I fall in it. I fall into that trap.
Yeah.
Mm,
Um, you, you know how women can be, Sister D. When they get with a man, they like to see sometimes how far he's willing to go, and then
right,
Mhm.
kind of want to keep him right there at that line,
right,
bring him right back down. It's a form of control.
right, right, right. Yeah, yeah. It's definitely a form of control. Any more comments out there? Because I was gonna add another question, Sister D.
No. Go on. Go
No, that
ahead.
was it. Monopoly
Yeah.
sounds like yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I was gonna ask you guys. Okay, so now since we all got an idea of what the topic is and what a monopoly is, um, how does a woman gain the monopolization of a man's time? Is it like a light switch on? It was off, then on, off, then on, right? Does it work like that, or is it more like a dimmer? How does it work? Or she just shows up and just say, "Listen, we're gonna be together. This is how it's gonna be." You know, your time is my time, and my time is my time, sucker. Like, is that how she do it? Is that how she do it?
At first, I think it's more like a dimmer
It's more
because
like a dimmer.
yeah, it reminds me of the song by Life Jennings, SEX. And
Mm-hmm.
in the song, he's talking about how that little girl has grown up now, right? There's new
Right.
block. They say, "Oh man, Keisha done blossom." So now you
Right.
got no block trying to get at her who are much older. So what they do,
Mm-hmm.
they start buying the gifts and stuff like that, saying, "Hey girl, you pretty," and stuff like that. So to me, it's kind of more like a dimmer when they seeing that they're getting that attention all around them just because they develop one day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a light bulb goes off. This is the way that I should be treated. So now,
Okay.
them little boys
Okay.
at school, ain't right.
Right.
So that's why I say it's like a dimmer.
How
Hmm.
does she? How does she? How does she now gain a monopolization of the man, whatever man she's dealing with?
She begins to learn through the mechanics of high school as she's blossomed
Mm-hmm.
status, and that's how she
Okay.
begins to start a monopoly. Because then you go to college, you find out that you are at your prime age, and
Mm-hmm.
50-year-old guys will pay for that. So now she starts to figure out, hey, how can I really make this work for me?
Mhm.
Then, you know, she getting flued out. She's seeing this guy. How could she get a Birkin? How could she manipulate him or use how her looks or where she's
Right.
at, people she know, to get the
Right.
lifestyle she wants? Because
Right.
then society comes into play.
Right. Okay. So she learns a set of skills, is what you're saying, right? Over time, how to tactfully go from getting no time to owning all of the time
And demanding more. But yeah,
and
that's
demanding more. So she get all of the time and then demands more. Wow,
absolutely.
brother, great beard. Yeah. What you said, brother Jay?
No, I was just gonna say because she's worth it.
She's worth it. She's worth it. Okay. She better be. She demanding all of that, right? Brother Great Beard, what does he say?
Do you want to read it?
Yeah, please.
Okay, it says he said I had a girl try that. Came home Friday, heard and to hear the version of all of our plans for the weekend, and I would consider one, but next the rest. But yeah, it will never end. That list too, because once you consider one for the weekend, more,
and then and then after
more.
we finish what we're gonna do on Friday, and then the next morning when we wake up, I was thinking that the best thing for us to do is we could start that off with, they'll be going from event to event to event. Look at the parallel between monopoly and monogamy. Yeah. Yes.
Oh wow. Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
a good parallel.
Yes. That's a good one, right? It's a good one, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Great. All right. Good. All right. So I think we got a gist of what this title actually means here. So let's go with the first
You got
question.
one more comment. Just one more comment.
Yeah.
Brother
Bring it
Sheldon
on. Bring it
says,
on.
But the older women are much more cunning. They will show absolutely no signs of monopolizing your time at first, and in a few months, you will corner the market of your free time.
Of your free time.
Hey,
You hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head.
A free time.
Well, you're not allowed to be sitting on the couch. I mean, you can't just be sitting there doing nothing.
Right.
We consider anything that you don't do for us as nothing, by the way.
Oh yeah,
it's nothing.
Trust me, I know.
How much does expectation or the use of expectation or guilt tripping do you think she uses, or does she use guilt tripping or the expectation, right? Like, well, we did it for the last 2 Fridays, and I was thinking that we would be doing it again. Like, you mean you're not going to want to do that with me no more, right? I'm not going to have my Fridays anymore. Now it becomes her Friday, right? Or if you decide you want to do something with one of your friends, or you're going out with the fellas, or you got other, oh wow, so now I'm going to be here all alone. And you mean you're gonna go out and you're gonna be with the fellas, and I don't know what am I gonna do, so I have no plans, right? Do women do stuff like that, Sister D?
Well, obviously, right? That's why you guys are here talking about it. Wasting the time talking about it.
D is that fly on the wall.
Right. What's the name of that book? The spook that's set in the back of the room?
Yeah, I'm like that. But I really see women, we really think that anything that we don't want, if it doesn't benefit us, it's a waste of time. If a man is doing it and it doesn't directly help me, benefit me in any way, it is a waste of time, because we see that as your time as being ours for our benefit at all times.
Oh, Jeremy. Oh, you just want to watch your little game.
And we will say little, yes, the word little.
Oh, you just going out to your little job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
and your little friends, right? And, everybody's little, and
everything is little, right? Farmers market, the fair, the festival, the knick-knack shop, all of those are in her plan. She got an itinerary. An itinerary, Sheldon.
The garage to clean, the kids to watch, all kinds of stuff. All right, here we go. We understand
I
what it
wonder
means.
if some women go as far as to, you know how you could sync a calendar?
You can
Actually
think
sync a calendar.
uh-huh.
The man's like, oh, I got a message coming in. And you got a full schedule for the whole weekend.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
First question. We having too much fun. All right.
Uh-huh.
So, number one, if time is the one resource Yah gives equally to kings and servants, and I would add all of us, right?
Mhm.
How will we explain to our master, Yah, if we've spent more of it answering to a woman's demands than advancing his kingdom? I'm going to repeat that.
Mm.
If time is the one resource Yah gives equally to each of us, to kings and servants, how will we explain to him if we've spent more of it answering to a woman's demands than advancing his kingdom, rather than advancing his kingdom?
You mean he won't accept happy wife, happy life?
I mean, would he not want her to be happy?
Right.
You know?
I mean, he made her for me, right? I gotta keep
Right.
her happy.
I mean, I should bring some happiness to her life, right?
You know?
Ouch. The question could be a hard one.
Oh yeah. And the answer could be just as hard or worse, depending on
Yeah. How will we explain to him if we spent more time of the time that he's given us, right, to her than doing the thing that he gave us to do? Hello, sync the calendar. Don't give her any ideas, brother Mike.
You're
Make
gonna
sure she
explain
doesn't
to
see
her
the stream. Make sure she doesn't see the fella's announcement. Make sure your woman doesn't see.
wouldn't he answer like Adam does? It's the wife that you gave me, right?
It's the wife that you gave me. Oh wow.
Oh,
Wow, Sister D. A
Mhm.
man wouldn't say nothing like that.
Mm.
Only the first man, right?
He was a smart man.
The father of us all.
Mhm.
The father of us. Anybody got anything else in the comment section? No, that was it.
Mhm.
No? Okay, let's look at a passage. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under the heaven. Now, how does that relate to tonight's topic? Is she monopolizing your time? To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heavens.
Mm.
How does that relate to tonight's topic, guys? How does that relate? To everything there is a season. Is she part of the everything?
she could be. I mean,
She could be.
she could be, but there's a time
Mhm.
for her, but she shouldn't be monopolizing that time. Us as men,
Okay.
we should be good stewards of our time, but just as Brother Pete says, yeah, you gotta make time for her. Get her flowers, take her out on
Mhm.
date. You have to
Be
make time,
nice.
but
Be
it
nice.
shouldn't be a monopoly where she's taking up most of your time, and you don't have time to pray. You don't have time to fast. You don't have time to seek the Lord.
It is so interesting because I spoke to my wife before we started the stream, and the very thing that she said to me was, "Oh, I found a movie for us to watch tomorrow." It's like, oh,
So your time is being monopolized as we speak,
and I'm doing this show.
right?
Talk
Mhm.
about practicing what you don't preach, right? Or not practicing what you preach, right?
Well, you getting hit on both fronts. You got your daughter you got your daughter monopolizing, and you got your
Yeah,
wife
right.
monopolizing. Okay.
Happiness is not a prerequisite to obedience. Facts.
Thank you. And I had to tell somebody that this weekend. They think that our
Right.
feelings equal being in servitude to the Father. Our
Mm.
Right.
feelings take no place in there when it comes to
Right.
a commandment and what we have to do. Our
Mm,
feelings
mm.
second.
Right. When your wife, that's like when your wife, brother Yahuwel, when your wife tells you this is not going to make her happy, or that's not going to make, well, did the cross make Yeshua happy?
That's a good one. Mm.
Or carrying it. Was he happy doing that?
Was he happy doing that?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. All right, good. So the next passage in there is, so then, Romans 14:12. So then, every one of us shall give account of himself to Yah. And that's one thing that we got to remember as men. And it's kind of like was resounding in what we've been talking about so far, particularly in this question, like this first question that we threw out there in question number 1. We have to remind ourselves that we're going to have to give an account of what did we do with the time that he gave to us.
Mm.
And no one is going to be is like, listen, it's the woman you gave me, y'all. I needed to make her happy. That's not going to fly. It's not going to fly. It's not going to fly. It didn't work for Adam, right? It didn't work. He still got kicked out.
No.
Happiness is a byproduct of obedience. Amen. Amen.
Thank
I
you.
mean to that.
And
yes.
Sometimes you don't even get happiness after being obedient.
Sometimes you right.
You
Sometimes yeah. Sometimes. Yeah. Yep. So true. Let's go to Matthew 24:45. Matthew 24:45. Pull the passage up. All right, Matthew 24. Let me pull her up the screen. Share screen. All right, Matthew 24:45. 24:45. All right, so this is an example of what it's going to be like in reference to when he comes back, in terms of what he expects of us with our time. Brother Jay, could you read from verse 45?
Yes, sir. Okay. Who then is the faithful and prudent slave whom his master put in charge of his household to give them their food at the proper time? Blessed is that slave whom his master finds so doing when he comes. Truly I say to you that he will put him in charge of all his possessions. But if that evil slave says in his heart, my master is not coming for a long time, and begins to beat his fellow slave, and eat and drink with drunkards, the master of that slave will come on a day when he does not expect him, and at an hour which he does not know, and will cut him in pieces and assign him a place with the hypocrites. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Oh, okay. I see what's going on.
So, how does this parable that Yeshua uses in reference to his return, his coming back, being the master, and whatever it is that he has given to each and every one of us, right? How does this relate to what we're talking about here, fellas? Like, what do you get out of it? What is the gist of what he's saying here in reference to our topic tonight?
Us as servants unto the Master Yeshua, have to do what he's told of us, and it doesn't mean allowing her to monopolize our time.
Doesn't allow her to monopolize.
Stay ready for his return. Right. Certain things that he's going to have us do, while we wait.
So, is there other things that he has told us to do aside from what we do with her? So, in other words, there are duties that a husband has towards his woman, right? That's mandated by the Most High, right? Okay. Are there other duties that a man has? What other duties are there, if there is, right, that a man has other than his woman?
Well, he's got to take care of his land. He's got to take care of the things that are in his possession. Most people have a house, so you got to take care of that. I mean,
got to take care of the
house than just a woman washing dishes and vacuuming the floor. You
right.
Gotta make sure the pipes are good. You got to make sure the sink is working, the stove is working. If that needs to be fixed, you got to make sure she has reliable transportation. She got to have money to go to the store if that's if that's their thing. If they have land, he got to make sure he takes care of land, especially if they're growing fruit. You need to pull weeds. You got to take care of that. You got manure.
Yeah.
You got livestock. See, it just kind of grows. And when you look at a man, you think back to his work environment. How how is he moving through his work environment to be able to not only grow his finances, which in turn expand his household, but that he doesn't get fired. So he's got to manage his relationships there, and at the work,
Mhm. Right.
or if he goes and goes to the if he buys lottery tickets, you don't want to go around and upset the people at the places that you go everywhere. You got to be able to maintain those relationships. And just
Maintain those relations.
Brother Graybeard said, hobbies. Man's got to have hobbies. He's got to blow
He's
off
got to have
steam.
hobby. Get play some video games. So
Right.
making a living, conduct his mission, conduct himself according to Torah, do your part in the Great Commission.
And that's another example. Keeping Torah. You got the feast days you got to prepare for.
Yes.
And then you have your daily routine of living according to the word.
Can I interject here, brother? If you read verse 48 again, Brother Michael, go up one verse.
All right. But if that evil slave says in his heart, my master is not coming for a long time. Oh, that's a good observation, Sister D. In what way, Sister D, can a man say in his heart, my master is not coming for a long time, as it relates to the time he's devoting to his woman?
He thinks he has time to waste. He thinks that he has, no schedule. He's not on the schedule. It's kind of like the end. He's taking it so lightly. Eating and drinking with drunkards means that, you're laissez-faire, whatever. You're not taking it as seriously. Your time.
How about that old adage? Honey, we don't need money. We don't need funds. We don't need work. All we need is love.
All you need is love.
But don't we all have that? Like, I'm a little bit older, in my 50s, but don't we have that wasted time in youth? Like, the years just went by and you don't know where it just poofed and you just wasted it, It's something there. And then the other one I like is that the master gave him the order to feed the servants at the right time, right? He gave them at the right time. So there's a time to feed the sheep. There's also time to do other things, right? But there's time to feed the people.
At the proper time.
There's a proper time breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Right. So this parable is time sensitive. There's time constraints here. Right. And notice that he begins to beat his fellow slaves and eat and drink with drunkards. In other words, he did different things other than what he was supposed to do in the allotted time.
In the allotted time.
So there was a lot of time for him to do all of the household things that the master put him in charge of doing. So it just lets us know that it's not just one thing that a man is given, like Brother Jeremy pointed out. There's not just one thing that a man is, or Brother Graybeard pointed out. A man has a number of things to do with his life, right? Even a poor man, right, has a number of things that he has to do, right, with his life, right?
Yeah. Amen. Brother, could you read this one here?
Yes.
But
read that, please.
Find us to think and understand ourselves as a priesthood, not kinghood. Think of yourself to serve rather than focus on being served.
Somebody else said that. Who said that?
Yeshua.
Aha. How did he phrase it?
And that's what I always think about. The Son of Man has come not to be served, but to serve. And I always think of that. That's the mentality you need.
And exactly. And so notice what, in the parable, Yeshua calls him an evil slave because he says in his heart, right? My master is not yours. So in other words, he's an evil slave because he's not thinking of serving first. Being self-serving, right? See what he's doing? He begins to beat his fellow slaves and eat and drink with drunkards, right? He becomes self-serving. He's partying, right? He's I was just saying looking for downtime, right? And he's mistreating, right? That's the other thing too. Like, if you're mistreating what Yah has given to you, in this case, it was the fellow servants, so fellow slaves. You're
Mhm.
mistreating those he put in your care. You're mistreating what Yah has put in your care.
To be
Right? It's
stewards
another
of.
waste
Yes,
of time. It's
yes,
another waste
yes,
of time. Right.
yes, yes. Brother Sheldon Williams says subconsciously she knows that if she monopolizes your time and your finance, it lowers your chances of you finding another lady.
Oh, he's looking deeper into the polygyny aspect of the versus the prescriptive monogamy aspect of this, right? Or the prescriptive monogamy aspect versus the polygyny aspect. Yes,
Mm.
yes. I think a lot of women do that, right? You know, do you guys agree? A lot of women today do that. They want to be, especially if she's insecure, right?
Mhm,
You know, she wants him in her presence,
mhm.
right? Because she knows, you know, when he's not in her presence, right? You know, there's a good chance, right? The girl
We
next door, right?
Well,
What are
we
you
have
gonna say?
sneaky ways. We have sneaky ways of occupying your time also by creating drama and stress on purpose to make it so
Mhm.
difficult that you will not even want to have another woman because you can barely handle me.
Right,
Right.
right,
So
right,
I'll make
right.
your life a
Exactly.
lot of arguments and tedious pettiness to keep you occupied, even if it's a negative way to
Right.
keep you
Or it could
occupied.
become the excuse for why you shouldn't have another woman.
Yes, because
Right.
you can't handle even the one I,
Like,
you
listen,
know.
all of the stuff that we do and all of the needs and we have, and we got to do this, we got to do this.
We're
How will
too
you ever
busy,
even have time for another woman?
you know,
Huh,
because you can
Jeremy?
you can hardly bear me, right? I'll keep you so busy that you will not think that you can have time for another one, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've heard women say it. I've heard them
Well,
say it. Yeah.
listen.
All right. So well, we are up to number 2. Okay. Let me pull this out. When Paul says the husband is the head of the wife, right? What does it reveal about a man's headship if he allows one woman to control his schedule and priorities? So when a man allows a woman to monopolize his time, what does that say about it? Or what does that reveal about his headship?
What do you guys think? In the meanwhile, I'm just going to read this one quickly. I'm unsure if it will lower the chances considering how infidelity is rampant in monogamous relationships. Okay. All right.
Hmm. Or does the body dictate the master's plan? So if he's the
Well,
head, right?
if
If he's the head, yeah, guys,
well, literally, if my hand is the one that is taking up all my time and you cannot think about doing anything else because you're so preoccupied with this independent hand doing whatever it wants, you're not the head.
you're not the head.
The
Right,
hand is
right,
the head, right?
right, right. So if my hand has to most of the day work this remote control of this video game to the point where I don't want to get up to wash, I don't want to go get something to eat, I'm not
Yeah,
going to go to
yeah,
work,
yeah,
I'm not going to read my Bible, I'm not going to pray, right?
yeah. It's like a phantom limb, or they have another term for it, sciencey, when you can't control your limb. Yeah, there's a
Mm,
scientific word for that.
mm,
For
mm,
that.
mm, mm. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about that? So if um Paul says the husband is the head of the wife, what does it reveal about a man's headship if she's monopolizing his time?
Well, it reveals that he's out of order. If he's
It
the head,
reveals that he's out of order.
like
Right.
I talk with my hands a lot, but that's my mind, my head just trying
Mm,
to express itself.
that's a good
So
one, brother John.
my hands don't control my brain. My head controls it.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like this one right here from Brother Graybeard. He said,
Mm-hmm.
lack of headship. Exactly.
Lack of headship.
But it
Lack of
also
headship.
teaches us, in reference to what we're talking about tonight, that there is no place for a woman to monopolize a man's time.
Mm,
And if she is, then you need to reprioritize your time.
right. So I think so far, is it safe to say that based on what we've said so far, that when a woman is monopolizing a man's time, he's in disobedience to his master?
Yes, he over there beating the servants and drinking with the drunkards.
He's obedient. So he's in disobedience to Yah. So if your woman is monopolizing your time, you are in direct disobedience to the Most High Yah.
Yes, sir. That's not what we're.
Yes, and a lot of times we don't really think of it like that way. The fact that your woman got you cooped up in the house with her underneath her, for the whole weekend. You didn't do no studying, you ain't do no praying, right? For the whole weekend, and then on Monday, and then on Tuesday, right? And what are we gonna do on Thursday? And then Friday, I was thinking, if she got you under that schedule, right? Y'all sitting back there looking like this worthless, evil slave of mine. Yeah, that's what he's thinking. He's thinking like, you are not thinking about him. You're not thinking about what it is that he called you to do. But let's look at a passage. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Messiah is the head of the assembly. Now, here's the question. Do people in the assembly act like the Messiah is their head?
I think we can all say 100% no. And shalom,
in what
shalom,
ways?
Brother
Shalom, brother man Aki. In what ways do people in the assembly disregard Messiah's headship?
Well, we can ask Michelle. We can
Michelle.
also, yeah. You haven't seen that prophet?
Oh, he's about Michelle Obama?
No. There's a quote unquote prophet or apostle. He got roped up with the FBI, and every time they asked him a question, he said, "Ask Michelle."
Ask Michelle. Okay, yeah, that's the guy that they did the $50 million and
the Gucci belt because he's sweating too much.
Yeah, and he was forcing people to work. Right.
Or we can ask Juanita Bynum. She backstage doing witchcraft, and then gonna go out there on stage and tell you how to say you don't need a man. You don't need a man. All you need is him. You married to God now.
Married to God. That's it. So So there are, just as there are people in the assembly, in the church, quote unquote, who does not acknowledge Messiah's headship, there are men who don't acknowledge their own headship, or there are women who do not acknowledge their headship. And like Brother Graybeard said, it's basically a headless body, right? It's a headless body. Yeah.
The men don't acknowledge it because they concede to allowing them in the pulpit to usurp authority, which is sitting at the pastorship of priesthood, which goes against the law.
Right.
So they secede to that, and then the women will step right in because they'll just keep appointing each other to all these other positions, and eventually push the men out that position, out of all those positions.
Out of all of the positions,
and then it'll just be a female-led circus. Right.
Or the point that Sister D makes, even when it's a thing when the guys are supposed to be like the Super Bowl, right? The guys have the Super Bowl. Now all of a sudden women want to have the Super Bowl party, or they want to join the Super Bowl party, right? So they want to be attached to the guys' thing, but they also have their ladies' things where the guys are not there. Yeah. Women do that, Sister D?
Yes, but look at me at Masculinity Monday in your space. You just have to keep quiet.
Sister D is different. Yeah, because she goes hard for the brothers. So that's what makes her goes hard for the brothers. She definitely do. She's out here championing our causes in so many ways. Brother Graybeard says, the just married warrior was excused for a full year. So there is set aside time for the helpmate, just not letting her lead you. Amen to that, brother.
Yeah,
great point. Great point.
Very good point.
Yes. Moving like hyenas instead of lions. That's not the
But the
hyena.
interesting point that I'm hearing here is that whose schedule who should follow whose schedule, right? So it
Mm,
really is like that. Like, um, if you have a husband and it is his mission and his schedule, then really I should be asking my master what's on the schedule for today, not the other way
exactly.
around.
Not the other way around. Not the other way around.
Mhm.
And there has to be a balance to this, right?
Mhm.
Because then and we're gonna see these scriptures when we come up. They're
Mhm.
coming up next. There is a time that man should, you know, prioritize that
Consider.
woman. Right.
Mhm.
Right. There
Mhm.
are times. Would you guys say that there are times? I'm just gonna take my camera off for a second, but I'm still here. Are there times that a man should prioritize his woman?
Absolutely. Go ahead, sister.
No, Brother Beard says exactly. Is there times? So what times would you give an example, brother Jeremy?
Oh, when I get home from work. So that means I've done, and that's just figuratively, you know. So that means when I've done what I'm supposed to do for the day.
Oh, okay.
After I've done what I've been called to do and I got that free time, you're the priority.
So she gets candy time, right?
Well, yeah, I
Yeah.
think that scripture gave it the answer. Like, you need to know when to feed your plants. You need to know when to feed your shepherd, when to feed the sheep. You can't be feeding
Right.
them 24/7. There's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You should know when to give that time, right, as needed. But here, it's really personalized, so you know when to do that.
Right. Right. And then there's a psalm or proverb that says, know the condition of your flock, right? So you
Yeah.
gotta be able to balance that out
Mm.
with knowing the time that you know is needed, because sometimes schedules can be rigid. So something like, for instance, there's been Masculinity Mondays
Yeah.
where as soon as we hit live, I had to leave, right? Because my son got sick, right? So this, you got to be able to balance that time. Like, there's going to be times where you're going to have to break the schedule.
Mm.
Sometimes some things, take precedence, right? And you just got to know what's a priority versus what not. What to
So
prioritize versus
yes.
not.
So the
Right?
man should be such the discernment of his flock and of his house that he knows which time to do that, right? To give
Right.
to each
Exactly.
one. But Brother Sheldon asked here, I heard a woman speaker at youth conference this weekend advising youth that God made men and women to lead together. Guess you're talking about equally? Lead
Right.
together?
To lead together, right? Meaning like in the garden, right? I mean, yeah, that's an argument.
Um,
That's the argument that's
mm,
often used.
I don't.
Even if
mm,
yeah, go ahead, Brother Jay.
I was just gonna say I don't understand how they got that from what happened in the garden. Before Eve came on the scene, Adam had done. Adam was walking with God. And he had did all the work.
Right. And here's the question.
mm,
When the scripture says that Adam named her, right?
mhm.
Work.
Where was she when he named her? What did what
Uh,
where did she partake in naming herself?
Exactly. Or
mm,
Right?
naming the animals.
Yes, or naming
What's
the
good to
animals.
eat. You know.
Right. Naming the animals. And yeah, and how did she learn the law?
Exactly. Who taught her the law?
And who taught her the law?
Had to
Right.
be Adam.
Right. And after the fall, what did Yah say?
what did he say? Must rule over her. So he put it in order. He put it back in
Yeah,
order.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
is in order,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And why did Yah say he even made her?
To be the helper, help
To be
me,
the helper,
compliment.
help the man, right?
So that man would not be alone. He said it is not good that man should be.
Right, right. So he needed help, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Not a partner.
Not the other way around. Not if she needed help.
Right. She not right.
Because we think that men are created for us to benefit us and not the other way
Right.
around. I mean,
Right.
you do benefit us, but the sole
Yeah.
purpose is not you. Your sole purpose is to serve and to, yeah. and what he's commanded
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. In the Lion's Pride, the male is at the top. This was displayed even in the Lion King. Exactly. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So true.
Brother Beard says, no problem with the spending time with or treating her well, but you decide when and where and what. Yeah.
Right. right?
Yeah.
And this is what Solomon says: know well the condition of your flock and pay attention to your herds. So you have a duty for whatever it is that Yah has given to you, right? Is to know the condition of it and pay attention to it, right? Dwell with your woman according to knowledge, right? Right. You know, that's more than having understanding of her emotions. You need to understand, right? More than her emotions, you have to understand what she needs. And here's the question: does she need all of your time? Is that even beneficial to her?
No. She will get tired of you.
In Monopoly, in monogamy, though, we will say that who else is? I mean, you're the only one around, right? It's not like you can go to another sister wife. She doesn't exist. So
She doesn't exist.
I will demand you.
Yeah, she in prescriptive monogamy, the wife is the voice crying in the wilderness.
Oh dear.
Hello. There better not be anyone else there.
Because then we say that we know we're overwhelmed and you have to give us more of your time. There's so much housework. There's so much, I need help with the kids. And that all lands on you as the husband.
Right. Exactly. You need to help more, Jeremy. You need to help more.
And you have to stop working so you can help more.
Help me, but you need to go to work because we need
the same time.
All right. So we're going to contrast this with Genesis 21:8. So let us first with the first one, Genesis 3:17. This is what Yah says to Adam: because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, cursed is the ground for thy sake. So why did Yah curse the ground for Adam's sake?
He listened to a woman.
Because he hearkened, not just listen, he hearkened.
He obeyed. What is it? He did the word.
He obeyed. Yes, he hearkened to her. He obeyed her. We got a comment that came in. Says Psalm 31: give not thy strength unto woman, right, nor thy ways to that which destroyed the kings. Right. And she heard and obeyed. He heard and obeyed his woman. Heard and obeyed what? Over the voice of Yah, right?
Yeah.
And it says he obeyed her word, right? That's what he did. He obeyed her word, right? Obeyed her word. So let's contrast this with Genesis 21:8-13 with not with Adam, but I meant to put Abraham. I should have put Abraham. Let me fix that in the banner. So we need to have that for the playback. Abraham. Right. All right. So we're going to contrast. So let's go to Genesis
21:8.
All right. So now this is when Isaac was after he was born. Brother Jay, can you read from verse 8?
Yep, verse 8. And the child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast on the day that Isaac was weaned. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, whom she bore to Abraham, laughing in jest. Therefore she said to Abraham, drive out this maidservant and her son. The son of this maidservant shall not be an heir with my son, with Isaac. And the matter distressed Abraham greatly because of his son. So Elohim said to Abraham, do not be distressed because of the boy and your maidservant. Whatever Sarah tells you, listen to her voice, for through Isaac your seed shall be named. And the son of the maidservant I will make a nation also, because he is your seed.
All right, so we can stop right there. So, in the case of Adam, Yah cursed the ground because Adam heeded to the voice of his woman.
Mhm.
Here, in the case of Abraham, Yah is telling Adam to heed to the voice of his woman. What's the difference between the two?
One hearken unto the voice of his wife, and the other one must hearken unto the voice of Elohim.
Right. But Yah rebuked Adam because he heeded to the voice of his wife.
Right.
Yah is telling Abraham to heed to the voice of his wife. What's the difference between the two?
That's the only difference I can think of, is that it's Yah telling him to do it.
Is Yah telling him to do it? Okay.
Because Adam and Eve were in the garden.
But why was Yah? That's the contrast. Why is Yah rebuking one for doing it, and then why is Yah telling one to do it? Abraham obeyed God by obeying Sarah.
Well, I wouldn't say obeying Sarah. I mean, it's what God wanted, because we know ultimately what happened. When Hagar fled with Ishmael, what did the angel of the Lord come to her and say? So I would say he told her to do that because it was something that Hagar needed to experience by that encounter with the Lord, by saying you need to go back as her slave or maidservant. You need to go and be obedient.
But in terms of Abraham's walk with Yah, and what we talked about earlier, he's going to have to give an account for what he has done in terms of managing all that Yah has given to him.
Right.
Right. Just as Adam is going to have to give an account, or had to give an account, for what Yah had given to him. Right. In one passage, Yah rebukes Adam because he heeded to the voice of the woman. In this passage, Yah is telling the man to heed to the voice of the woman.
The only other thing I can see is that one was being disobedient to the father, and heeding directly unto the woman when Yah told him what the rules were. So that was in direct contradiction to what Yah said. And what Abraham is doing is Abraham is simply being obedient to what Yah is saying.
Right.
So that's the only difference I can draw from this. But I know you're going to bring it out, Brother Allen.
So we got give you some shalom, sword of the Lord. And he says Eve told
disobey Yah.
And the difference is
or convince Adam to obey. Brother, I don't even think she even convinced her. She just gave it to him.
Because when we read
how much convincing did she do? She just gave it to him and he ate.
It wasn't convincing. He just, he made a decision as the man to do it.
Right.
So it didn't seem like that was convincing by the scripture.
Right. Right. Yeah. So the difference between the two is that Yah wants us to listen to our women, heed to our women, as long as our women are not telling us to do something that he told us not to do.
Contrary to Torah, you mean?
Right. So it's not that we shouldn't listen to our women. It's not that we shouldn't take their advice, because there's some men, patriarchal community, the wife is just a woman, and he should lead in all things, right? And don't even take the wife's suggestions. And this really wasn't a suggestion. This was a demand Sarah made. Notice the tone. Let's go back over this. Let's go back over. Notice the tone that she gave to him. And it says, and Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, whom she had born to Abraham, laughing in jest. So now she's heated because, now you're messing with my baby, right? Therefore, she said to Abraham, she's ordering him. drive out this heifer and her son. The son of this heifer should not be in heir with my son, with Isaac. She didn't ask him, she didn't petition, right? She didn't call him Lord. And Sarah called Abraham Lord. Not at this time. She didn't call him Lord. She didn't acknowledge his title. She said, drive out this maidservant and her son. The son this maidservant shall not be in heir with my son Isaac. And the matter distressed Abraham greatly because of his son. So Yah said to Abraham, do not be distressed because of the boy and your maidservant. No, this is your maidservant, Abraham.
His wife,
but your wife is telling you what to do with your maidservant, right? Whatever Sarah tells you, listen, sir. Whatever she tells you, boy, whatever she tells you, Abraham, listen to her. For through Isaac your seed shall be named. In this instance, Sarah had more of a zeal for the promise that Yah gave to Abraham than Abraham himself. Sometimes, men, Yah will reveal more of his purpose in an instance or in response to an instance, right, to your woman than he would to you at a given moment. That's why she's important, because sometimes we could be missing it. And Yah will light something in our women, maybe as it relates to another woman, to cause us to see something that we couldn't see. Because out of his emotions, he just couldn't see himself parting from his son. He was distressed about the idea.
Maybe he was bonded with them. Maybe he was close with them. Yeah.
Yeah, he was 8 years old at this time.
Yeah.
About 8 years old. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Abraham did what was logical. The Most High Yah had to help him see the importance of listening was protecting the vision, not preserving the position of Ishmael. And exactly. Exactly. He wasn't thinking about it at that time. He was thinking like, yeah, this is my son. I don't want to part with my son. Emma Sarah was protecting the vision. Thus, it wasn't about the other woman, but about the Banim and the future. Exactly. Exactly. That's what it was about. She was a scorned woman, laughing with anger behind it. LOL.
Yeah, she was mocking. Yeah, mocking. Yeah.
Because this was the second time.
Yeah.
This was the second time with Hagar. Right? This is the second time around. Fool me once, fool me twice. Now, you know how that saying goes, right? Yeah.
The way I see it is, the father just wanted obedience. I mean, regardless of what he told Adam to do, that was a test of his faith at that point.
Exactly. And Abraham, right? So each of them were tested. One test came by way of disobeying Yah. The other test came by way of, are you going to put your son before Yah's vision?
Right. Okay.
And so as men, we got to be able to discern these things. Imagine Angela Balassi is saying to get this boy and this woman out of here, LOL. He's talking about what's love got to do with it. All right, cool. Let's go to the next question. All right. So, what spiritual dangers arise when too much time is spent with one woman? What spiritual dangers arises or can arise when a man spends too much time with one woman? One woman. Right? Talk to me, guys. Talk to me. I'm here. Talk to me.
Is it dangerous? Is it really dangerous to spend too much time with one woman?
Well, I mean, of course not. I mean, just like we said before, happy life, happy wife. Never spend enough time with that woman.
I think we basically so far pretty much had a consensus that a man can spend too much time.
Well, Brother Beard said that. So here we go. He says she begins to think that she is your equal.
That's definitely something that can happen. So you spend too much time with her, she begins to think like, you're her peer, right?
I think that something about Eve being the only woman at the time in the garden gave her this kind of monopoly over Adam as well. Yeah, the boldness to do something that she probably wouldn't do. She didn't have.
She certainly showed us scripturally why a woman shouldn't be the only one.
Instead of her eating cake,
because she brought the whole world into sin. When a woman is the only one, she gonna bring the whole world into sin. Yeah.
Would the men tend to forget who his master is? Like sometimes I think if you're hyper focused on one thing, you forget that you have somebody above you.
Yeah, I mean, would Adam had made the same mistake if there was another woman?
I wonder.
Or would he have been more likely or less likely to have made the same mistake if there was another woman? Inquiring, you don't think so?
Well, yeah, because he would have said, "Oh, well, she being disobedient. I got one over here that's in line. It ain't even. I didn't eat. She out her mind."
Right.
Do you think that he operated on fear then of losing her? That's why he complied. Like, well, where's she going?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, when I sit down and think about it, and this is no slander to the father Adam. When I sit down and think about it and read the word, it's like, why would you hearken unto her? What else would put a man would have a man make that decision? Except for maybe fear of loss, because before she came in, he walked with God, so that means that he was in complete submission and obedience to him.
Yeah, he knew him. Yeah,
came in.
Yeah. What about the closeness? What about the close bond that he had with her? Because sometimes it can be in the close bond, you don't want to disappoint that person. And that is again, let me put that as a question. Is there a temptation that a man, and I realize I don't have my camera on. Is there a temptation for a man that exists that will provoke him to not want to disappoint his woman because of his fondness towards her? Right? I mean, think about it. It wasn't his woman, but it was his stepdaughter, right? King Herod said to her, if you whatever it is that you just name it, whatever it is that you want, and I'll give it to you.
Yeah, he was so fond of her. Yes.
He was so fond of her. So can a man be so fond of his woman to the point that, all she got to do is demand or ask of it, and he'll just give it to her? Are there men that are like that?
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, Brother Beard says yes. It has happened. Yeah. Yeah.
When you spend too much time with her, the man can be apathetic. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Right on the nose. That goes to another part B. 3B. How does scripture warn us against spending too much time with a woman, as well as how it teaches us to avoid doing so? Can you think of some scriptures that warns us about spending too much time with a woman, as well as how it teaches us to avoid doing so?
Well, these are not scriptures, but the brother has some proverbs.
Complacency. Yahuwah says complacency, also familiarity, brings contempt. He's referencing a passage.
And absence makes the heart grow fonder in his sense.
Yes. Yes.
We have is that a scripture? Complacency makes the familiarity brings content. Is that a scripture, or is that a saying that we have?
Is that a saying or a passage or a proverb? Well, is that a proverb that is a passage? Anybody can think of one? Anybody can think of one? 21:19. I noticed that all of the passages didn't come up here, so I'm gonna need to. Okay, here, let's look at this passage right here. Proverbs 25:17. Withdraw thy foot from thy neighbor's house, lest he be weary of thee and so hate thee. Withdraw thy foot from thy neighbor's house. So remove your foot from your neighbor's house, right? Let's look at that in different translations. There's got to be some other translations that word that in a way that stands out to us. Okay, let me present. So that's Proverbs 25:17. Okay. Okay. Read that, Brother Jay, please.
Proverbs 25:17. Let your foot rarely be in your neighbor's house, lest he have more than his fill of you and hate you.
I like that one. Lest he has more than his fill of you. Too much time with you, eh?
Fill of you. You're right. Exactly. Seldom, this is in NKJV. Seldom set foot in your neighbor's house, lest he become weary of you and hate you. So seldom, right? So often setting foot in your neighbor's house will cause him to be weary and hate you.
Sounds like familiarity brings contempt. Yes. He hates you.
Don't visit your neighbors too often, or you will wear out your welcome.
Can that apply to your wife though? Because your wife is your neighbor,
right? And that's the key. How does this apply to one's wife? I mean, is a wife a neighbor in any sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she is.
Explain.
She's a neighbor that's in close proximity.
In close proximity, right?
Because, when you look at the sense that your body is a temple, your body is a house in itself. So, by your wife coming in, now there's two houses.
Right.
In that sense, y'all are neighbors.
Yeah, we are neighbors, right? So we are neighbors, right? So you are neighbors in the same household, right? Neighbors in the same bed. I got one side, she got the other, right?
It reminds me of the 7-year itch, where they say in relationships, after a while, you just get too familiar with each other. You become
too familiar with each other.
Roommates.
Right.
It's the roommate syndrome, right? You become like brother and sister.
And it kind of implies why all of the other things that we listed that a man should be doing with his time, why those things are so important, because what does it do? They prevent familiarity. They prevent complacency. They prevent seldom setting foot on her side of the bed. Right? They prevent that. Right? It prevents that, right? Right. Yeah. Like just imagine where you just are underneath a person, you work together, you eat together, you sleep together, you don't get any space from each other. You're gonna crowd each other out at a certain point. And a lot of times in relationships, dating relationships, right? New couples often make this. I know I've done this. In the beginning, you just want to spend time and you just keep, you're always together. You're always right. And it can happen, right? You wear out that time, right? Because you have to kind of like pull away. You got to have some time apart, right? There's wisdom in that. And that's what Solomon is speaking to in the passage. You're going to say something, Brother Jay?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. All right. So the other passage was this one that's up on the screen. Could you read this one right here, Brother Jay?
Hold on.
119.
Sister D, can you take this one for me?
It is. Yeah, it's better to live in a desert land than with a contentious and vexing woman.
And this is another thing too. Like, you can have a wife that's a contentious wife, you don't want to have too much familiar time with her. You need to give that one some space, especially if she's an argumentative woman, and
Yeah, yeah.
especially if you know her past. If
But
you
that's
know that
interesting.
she
Yeah,
comes from a home where there was she's easily triggered,
yeah.
and that's a weakness, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got to give us some space.
I find it that we like to use that trick of holding on to a man through arguments, like keeping the arguments going nonstop, and men keep on coming back and engaging in it, and it can be time consuming. You can spend months of years of your life trying to communicate
Right.
with a woman who will never want to understand you, but it will keep the argument going.
Keep the
Or
argument going. Right.
know,
We
the
did a
contention
stream.
going.
We did a stream last year
Mm.
and I think we did another one this year on it as well, in terms of how there are women who get bored with peace.
That's my first episode with you.
Right.
We did that last year. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you get bored with peace. Right. So
Yeah.
they come from a past whereby, right, it was chaotic. There was always arguments. There was always friction. Come
Yeah.
from a family where people just always were in contention with each other, right? And so
Yeah.
now she comes into your dwelling, and it's peaceful, it's calm. You got some worship music going on, right? Nobody's getting stabbed over in the back room. None of that, right? Nobody's
Yeah.
pulling out guns, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
peaceful.
Yeah.
And she gets bored with it. Or
she
she's
creates
had
arguments.
traumatic
Yeah.
relationships in the past,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So she's had these relationships with, she used to fight with Tim. Raheem used to throw her down the stairs. Billy used to bust her lip, So, so she's had these, violent relationships, right? So now she's in this relationship with you, and you won't punch her. And she's waiting for you to punch her, right?
Brother Michael, we're censoring it.
But I'm just saying, like, it happens.
It does happen.
It happens.
And,
Like,
and look what
it's
the
real.
Proverbs says. It's better not even to live in that situation. Why do
With a
we put up with
contentious
that?
woman,
Why do
right?
you all put
And
with that?
that's the whole point. It's
Yeah.
it's a psyche of violence, right? It's a psyche of contention, right?
Mhm.
You have to limit yourself around that. You have to give it space,
You have to give it space. Yeah.
right?
So you
Right.
cannot spend all your time trying to navigate that all the time. This is the brother who comments here. Can we read it?
Abba Yah creates natural separation during her nina, exactly at the feet, at the least. Exactly. So in other words, he creates times where, and it's not just her, right? It's also when there has been a discharge of semen, right? We did that in the previous streams, right?
Yeah.
You need to separate yourself, right? You
Mm.
need to separate yourself, right? And so you have to quarantine. Like, there's those set times for quarantine, right? She just lost her mother. She touched the dead body, right? She has to quarantine. She just gave birth to a baby, right? A boy, 30, 40 days, a girl, double that, right? So she needs to quarantine, right? These things are supposed to be going on. This is what's supposed to be happening.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
I was that way with my wife. I wanted to be with her all the time. Now look for alone time. You looking for it?
You're searching for it.
You searching all over the house with the magnifying glass. Is any free time over here? Let me see. Ecclesiastes 42:12. All right, let's pull that up. Sirach. All right, 42:12. Right. All right. I was thinking this one earlier. All right, good. Let me switch screens. All right, Brother Jay, are you back?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, can you matter of fact, read all three of these verses, right? I mean, in context, they really pretty much bring out some good stuff here. All right, so go ahead.
Right. Do not look upon anyone for beauty, and do not sit in the midst of women. For from garments come the moth, and from a woman comes woman's wickedness.
Oh dear.
Better is the wickedness of a man than a woman who does good, and it is a woman who brings shame and disgrace.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Where did that one come from? How come I never read that?
That's Sirach.
The
That's
Apocrypha.
Bible.
Oh lordy. Can you wow, that's a new one for me. Wow.
Bible. That is
That's
Bible.
probably why they outlawed it and said, "Oh, that's not
Yeah.
canon."
Well, I mean, really,
That-
if you really think about it, right?
Mm.
It is the Protestants which ban these passages or deem these passages as not being considered canon, right? And this is following the mandating of the marriage ceremony and prescriptive monogamy, right, by the Catholic Church or Church of England, right? That being the case, right, this makes sense. You don't want this extreme position concerning women, right? Because the whole idea of it is that the church wanted to neutralize the authority of men. And in wanting to neutralize the authority of men, they had to somewhat elevate the status of women.
Wow.
Right? They had to elevate the status of women. So having this in kind of like contradicts the wife now being able to vow or being preserved as the one and only. Right? It kind of like offsets it, right, in a way, right? But that initial verse is what the brother actually was referencing is do not look upon any one for beauty and do not sit in the midst of women. So that's the other thing too. A man could want to sit in the midst of women or just want to be around women all the time, right? It could be through corn, right? We're not going to use the word, right? Corn, right? That he's constantly wants to look at the image of women or the beauty of women, right? Or it's his own woman. She's so beautiful. He
He's
just wants
memorized.
to sit there and just dwell and gaze at her all day, right?
Yeah.
He'd rather look at her than to look at that work that he brought home from the job that he's supposed to be doing, right?
Yeah. Imagine how distracting that is as a man. Yeah, I see that.
As men, right? And as men, we're drawn by what we see. So I think this is an excellent passage, really to consider, right? Good passage, brother. Thank you.
Another passage your brother shares here.
Deuteronomy 22:5. Okay, let's go here. Deuteronomy 22:5.
So according to the scripture here, all these women on the internet dressing like men for quote unquote lives is an abomination.
According to scripture, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Right. A woman should not wear man's clothing, nor shall a man put on a woman's clothing. For whoever does these things is an abomination to Yahweh, your Elohim. So now here's the thing. What is meant here by man's clothing? Because on the surface, it appears to be one thing, but when you look at this deeper, there is a deeper meaning to it. So a woman shall not wear man's clothing, nor shall a man put on a woman's clothing. For whoever does these things is an abomination to Yahweh, your Elohim.
Well, he says in the end of his comment here, what we wear shows what we do and who we are.
It shows what we wear and who we are. And it's interesting that he says that.
That's an interesting point. Because when you look at the dress of, a Hebrew man or a Torah keeper, it's way more conservative than someone who would be what they would call themselves as a Christian.
Okay.
Yeah, I see it.
Let's see.
You want me to read these on the screen right here, brother?
Yeah. I'm hold on 1 second. I just want to I'm looking up the word clothing here. Right, and we want to get the exact transliteration of this verse. That's 22:5, right? Let's jump to the index. 22:5. All right. Okay. So we're talking about a man's clothing. All right. So in general, article, object, main of material thing, especially thing of value. 22:5. Below specifically of garments, one's things, right? But there's another meaning here. Okay, so when you look at Strong's, right, it is something prepared, i.e., any apparatus as an implement, utensil, dress, vessel, or weapon, armor bearer. So men wear armor, right? For what? So if you're talking about a man's armor or his dress or vessel, it's a military garment, right? So what what is a man's military garment for?
His uniform.
His uniform, right? And so when a woman puts on a man's uniform, she's putting on what? She's attempting to put on what?
Give me 1 second, guys. I got to step away.
Okay.
Well, it sounds like his rank, his
rank,
status.
his position, his status.
His
So the man's clothing represents his status. It represents his status, right? And so a deeper look into this item of clothing that the man's wear is she wants to represent his status. So when a woman dawns on the attire of a man, she wants to dawn on the status, the position, the ranking, right, of a man, the uniform of a man, right? When a woman puts on a clergy collar, right, that was designed for a male leader in the assembly, right?
Yeah.
Right? She's doing what? She's putting on his attire.
His headship, his attire, his authority. I want to wear that. That's very deceptive.
She wears his warrior sword, his armor, right? She's again, she's putting on his attire, his uniform, right? His position, his rank.
That's very deep. I think it's good.
All right, so the second we did that, we did the other one. Okay, so let's go on to something different here.
Can I just read the 2 comments if you have?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Brother Beard said, it seems father's version of patriarchy is very watered down by society and Christianity.
Yes. Terribly slow, my beloved. Terribly so. It is watered down, right? Proverbs 12.
Notice this. He breaks it down really nicely. I like the way he wrote it here. A virtuous woman is the crown and the arrow to her husband, with the arrow, but she that maketh ashamed is as rottenness
is to his bone, in his bone.
Notice this isn't the
other way around.
Interesting, yes.
Yeah, because she can make him ashamed, but that's not necessarily a rottenness to her bones.
No, but she is a crown to his. She's a gem to his crown.
Right.
A crown, like the crown is on his head, not on her head.
It's on his head. It's on her head. Exactly. He wears the crown. It's his attire, right? It's the man's uniform, right? His garment, right? It's there's a consistency. It can lead to temptation, bad decisions on account of the woman like Samson. Interesting, you said that because that's the next question.
Okay, here we go. Yeah.
How does Samson's downfall illustrate the principle that a man shouldn't allow intimacy to monopolize his focus? So in the previous passage, we talked about the brother, reference. We thought about the woman's beauty. But now we're talking about intimacy here, right?
Mhm,
How
mhm.
does Samson's downfall illustrate the principle that a man shouldn't or should not allow intimacy with a woman to monopolize his focus and risk his calling? How did Samson's situation of him down and his downfall give us an example or illustrate to us the principle that a man should not allow intimacy to monopolize his focus and risk his calling? Talk to me.
Mhm.
What happened in Samson? You know, how did it illustrate this principle, right? To not allow a woman to monopolize your time.
Well, she knew how to run the clock, eh? Like
She knew how to run the
she was persistent, like in trying
she
to
was
wear him
persistent
down with her
to wear him
emotions.
to wear
I'm
him
sure she must
down.
have been a beautiful woman as well, Delilah.
More than likely, yes. And she
Mhm,
was persistent, right? She didn't give
mhm.
up. And that's the other thing too. Women would do that. Like you tell them no, they'll quiet down, and then they'll come back and ask another way, right? Or they'll bring it up again further on. I mean,
Yeah, ask
maybe
another.
right, and they'll ask it
Yeah.
again, or they'll wait until you are in a certain state
Well,
to ask you again.
when you're
Right.
tired, right? When you're
When you're
sleepy,
tired,
when you're
right?
horny, when something like
You're
that.
drunk, right? Right.
Sounds like
Sounds
she
like
had.
he had a lot of pillow talk with her. Exactly.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
Brother Beard says, let me just click on that one here.
He shared a secret and she used it against him.
Mhm.
That's what happened. That is how the you know allowing one's intimacy um to cause a woman to monopolize his focus and risk his calling
Now, I
because he
wonder
got off
if
focus,
he had
right?
another woman, you think he would fall for that trick with Delilah if he had another woman? I wonder, I just wonder,
Maybe,
like,
maybe not, maybe not. And I think it will be less likely, right? Because again,
mm,
she wouldn't be the one and only, right? She wouldn't be the only. It would be less likely, right?
mm.
Shimshon, the story is the real life parable of us today. We should never play or think little of what makes us special. Conflicting questions. Exactly.
Mhm, mhm.
Exactly.
Well, he and Samson did take little what his special, his uniqueness. He didn't
Yeah,
guard
he's
that
like
one, right?
he
Yeah.
didn't regard it. He didn't regard it. He
Mm,
certainly didn't regard it. So in Judges 19:16-19, between with Samson lost his strength through Delilah's constant demands, right? And
mhm.
she guilt tripped him too. She said, Samson, you don't love me after all I do, right?
All I do, like, yeah. Set you up so many times, but, I can't believe I don't know how Samson did that, because every time she would call them in, like, didn't he notice a pattern after this?
Yeah, you didn't realize that, yo, she's setting you up, right? And the adage, the famous Proverbs 31:3, give not thy strength unto women, nor thy way to that which destroyeth kings.
Yeah, that's the
And that
key.
was that was that's what he did. Like he gave his strength to this woman. He gave her the secret
Mm,
source of his strength, literally, right? His
mm.
strength to this woman, and it destroyed him, right? He was like a king to the Philistines. Yeah, yeah. He was a champion in Israel. All right. So if Yeshua himself often withdrew from his disciples, right?
Mhm, mhm.
If he himself often withdrew from his disciples, right? For a time alone with the Father, what excuse does any man have for never pulling back from too much time with his women? And so maybe guys, you need to start thinking of your women like your disciples. And in fact, because they are, right? They should be following you. They should be
Mm,
your followers and
mm.
not the other way around.
Maybe, yeah.
She did the Erica Badu on him. She must have been an extra good pillow talker.
I think
Yeah, she got some
so.
skills.
She
She has some
was a
skills.
sweetie. She was a sweetie. Yeah.
Yeah, women are more socially aware in most cases than men. Another woman would pick up on things that you would never notice about your one and only. Exactly. That's the
Yeah.
advantage that a man
Very
has,
good.
right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because one woman put him on game. Like, listen,
Mm.
I know that trick because that's what we women do. Like we oh, she's using trick 3789-777. Right. Yeah, that's the one.
We know
We
that we
learned
could
that in
smell it
primary,
out.
right?
Mhm, mhm. And
Yeah,
that's probably the advantage of having two women on your side in the sense that
yeah,
we can call each other out, right?
right. Exactly.
Hopefully, we're
Exactly.
not ganging up against you, but
Because again, the purpose of
yeah,
the woman is to be a help for the man's
yeah,
mission. So her
yeah.
insight, her introspect, right,
Mm,
becomes to his advantage. So we
mm,
have it's like a king having one advisor or a king having a team of advisors.
mm,
You know, which would work better for the king, right? Because now
mm,
he can compare and contrast, right, the wisdom that he's receiving from these different kings,
mm,
right? This is the reason why the king of Babylon, wanted to train young men, to become advisors, right, to his kingdom,
mm. Yeah,
right?
the
Because
three
the
Hebrew
kings in
sons.
those days
Yeah.
recognized the value of a plethora of wisdom.
Having a group, that's so true, and and
Mhm.
hopefully you don't have a group of women that are all gang up against you. So you need to
Yeah, and that could be the flip
wisely.
side to it, right? You got a bunch of hyenas.
There you go. Yeah, multiply your trouble.
You in
Uh,
trouble. So if Yeshua himself often withdrew from his disciples for a time alone with the Father, what excuses does any man have for never pulling back from too much time with his women? So in Luke 5:16, and Yeshua withdrew himself into the wilderness and prayed. And then in Mark 1:35, in the morning, rising up a great while before day, he went out and departed into a solitary space and there prayed. So he did this on a regular basis, right? He would take these random times to pull away. There were times his disciples would, Master, we were searching all over for you. Even the
yeah,
time when he was speaking to the woman at the well,
yeah.
right? That was a time where, they came and, he was at his father's business, right? And they were amazed that he was talking to this woman, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he would pull away. He wouldn't ask for permission from the disciples either. He would just
No.
do it.
And that's the other thing too.
Mhm.
As a man, do you need your woman's position to permission to take time away?
Yeah, but a lot of times you guys do ask though. And when you do
You do ask,
ask,
or you feel the need that you have to inform her of everything.
interesting. Brother Beard says, yeah, helper, not guide.
Helpers, not guides. Exactly.
Mm,
Exactly.
mm.
Exactly. Because even
I
counsel,
appreciate it. Yeah.
right? Even a legal counsel, at the
Yeah.
end of the day, in the courtroom, even though Diddy had a team of lawyers and they
Mm,
advised him, the decision on what direction he was going to go with his case was up to him.
that's so good. Good point. Yeah.
Listen, here in the United States,
Mm,
you can have a CPA, certified public accountant, right?
mm,
Professional accountant, do your taxes for you. A trained tax preparer, certified, do your taxes for you, right? But when you sign your name on that, listen, they're not the one that's accountable for what's inside that document you sign. You are.
yeah. Yeah.
And they're the professional. They're the one that's trained. You can't say, well, my accountant was, no, sir, you signed it.
So are you saying that it doesn't like a woman demanding or asking is not the problem? It's the man giving in to that?
That's the problem.
Mm.
That's the problem. She can Delilah on him all day long. It's still up to him not to give up his strength.
Yeah.
Then Has your woman Delilah'd you lately?
Delilah, that's a new term.
Have you been Delilah'd?
You
You can
don't
do
love
that all
me.
day
I want
long.
more time
Yeah,
with
you can
you,
do
you
that all day long.
know.
It's up to you because God's not holding her accountable for you giving in. He's holding you accountable.
But don't you have that with your son? You say he always asks you, Daddy, do you have to go to work? Daddy, do you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to
Oh,
do
yeah. My son does it to me all the time. Listen, I got a video. I gotta show you guys this video. Let me show you this
Oh,
video.
the one with
You
him
gotta,
at the door? Oh, that's so
yes,
cute.
and with the door. Hold on a second, guys, Sister D, talk.
No, because the
I gotta
asking
show
is
this
not the
video.
problem. I mean, women will ask, children will ask. We're always
Yes,
demanding things. Is it the
yes.
asking that is the problem, or is it the giving in that's the problem? Right?
It's the giving, right?
Mhm.
Because listen, it's like the devil is going to tempt you all day long. That's not the
Right.
problem. The problem is, are you going to
Mm.
give it to the temptation?
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
We at the end of the day, he's not holding us accountable for the devil's temptation. He's
That's
holding us accountable whether we're giving into the devil's temptation.
uh-huh.
Yeshua was tempted. He wasn't held
Mhm.
accountable for what the
Mhm.
devil was tempting him with. He was accountable. He held himself accountable for
Yeah,
how he
yeah.
responded to the temptation.
So I can ask for a monopoly of your time, but you don't necessarily have to give it to me.
Exactly,
Uh,
exactly. And Yah is gonna lead you through temptation as a man. He's gonna lead through the valley of temptation right in your home. He's gonna lead you through it. And
Interesting. Yeah.
he wants to see what your response is gonna be.
But you do
And
have a
it's
point, brother Beard, about too much asking is disrespectful. You're right. Like there is a point where I have to shut up. You're right. And Delilah went too much begging and asking. It
right. And
is. Yeah.
he was supposed to pick up on that and he was supposed to correct it, but he didn't correct it. He
Brother Sheldon says, I don't want to be a Delilah. I'd rather keep my dreadlocks. Is
yeah,
that your
keep your
strength?
locks.
Are you giving us secrets here, brother?
Keep your locks, brother. Keep your locks. Don't let your locks go.
But yeah,
Don't let
so if a woman keeps on asking the same question and you've already given your answer once,
right.
is it disrespectful for her to keep on asking over and over
It
again?
is, especially when you told her no, and it's like, listen, oh,
Okay.
you just gotta be confronted. It's just like with your children, right? If
Mm.
I mean, I
Mhm.
have to do that with my son from time to time, right?
Mhm.
He will keep asking because he feels what? Why do they keep asking? Why does
Mhm.
the baby keep crying?
Yeah, that's true. Because eventually they know that you give in, and if you
Or
have
they
that
think that
pattern
they
of
in hopes or they think that you're
yeah,
going to give in, right?
especially if you did it once or twice, though, brother,
Once or
you
twice,
set a
right,
pattern of
right,
eventually he's going to give in
right,
because he does eventually.
right.
Brother Vassal says, "I've given my strength away many times to who I thought was my woman. Dang, that hit hard. Got a lot of reflection to do."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's the key, man. You gotta we have to hold on a second. I'm trying to get this video up.
Yeah, you go ahead. And then
Yeah,
Brother
go ahead.
Manuel says that should have looked obvious. He obviously saw the red flags because he kept lying to her. That's what
Yes,
makes it look so bad. Yeah, Samson saw the red flags, but he ignored it because she was pretty.
she was pretty,
I
right?
think she was really gorgeous. I don't know.
Yeah, she put that pretty on him, right? I mean, yeah, I mean, more than likely, she was a good looking woman, and it was hard for him to say no. Going back to that proverb, of and
Mm,
definitely
oh
apocrypha,
yeah,
of not
yeah,
the beauty, not being drawn by the beauty or the company of the woman,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because it's lethal. It's lethal if we don't
yeah.
take control of our own emotions, right? And
Mm-hmm.
not allow ourselves to be drawn, we're going to get gassed and we're going to be suckered every time. And we're going to find ourselves giving in to the demands that she has for us, right?
For sure. Brother Bear says
Yeah.
my locks left, but I still have my beard.
Well,
Yeah.
you didn't maybe a woman stressed you out, and that's why you don't have your locks anymore. That happens too. Sometimes they can stress you out. You don't have the locks anymore,
No,
right?
no, no. But you eventually give in, and then, like women, we know, like even as children, we know that if you gave in after the 5th time I nagged you, then I'm gonna nag you 6th time next time.
Of course,
You know.
like the child, like that's what the child does. Like the child will keep nagging you because they figure, even the baby, like my little one, 3 months. I mean, she will cry because she wants someone to come and pick her up, and I'm the one. I'm the sucker. She monopolizes my time.
Oh, come
My
on.
wife is like, see, she's not gonna do that to me. She says it's better you than me because I'm not. I'm like, yeah, but I can't hear. I don't like to hear her cry. I don't want to hear her cry. And I just can't stand hearing her cry. When she cries, it just does something to me, and I just gotta pick her up. Even if I gotta stand there and hold her, I'll stand there and hold her till she fall asleep because I don't want her to cry. The thing about it is, I know I'm gonna pay for it when she get older.
Well, I think babies are the only ones who have excuses for
I can see the future. I can see how this is gonna end up. Yeah, I prophesy that.
No, brother Sheldon says the book said that Delilah wore braided sandals. Seems like Samson had a foot fetish. He had a foot
fetish. Exactly.
And Brother Manley says a nagging woman is like dripping water, which is true. There's a scripture about that. Drip,
yes.
drip, a nagging woman on your head. Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that's in Proverbs somewhere. Yeah. And eventually, though, men give in because it's torturous to hear a woman nag at you, especially about your time, about what you want.
Yeah. Look, this is a video of my son, guys. Let me show you what he. This is what he would do to me when I want to go to work. He still doesn't want me to go to work at all. And he was like maybe like 2 at this point, a little bit, just turning 3 or about to turn 3. And this was him, right? This was him monopolizing my time. Hold on a second. Let me let you share screen. Okay, let me pull this banner off. I can't go. You're not gonna let me leave? Come on, man. I gotta go to work. No. Please. Let me go to work. I can't leave. Daddy can't go to work. But I gotta go to work. Come on, man. So how am I gonna buy you the goodies? You want me to buy you some goodies from the store? I can't buy no goodies if I don't go to work. Come on, man. Let me get my coat. I'm gonna be back later. Okay? It's not gonna be that long. No, come on, man. You're not gonna let me go? Do I have to tickle you? No. Do I have to tickle you? Let me tickle your hand away from the door. Let me tickle your hand away. Yeah. So yeah, we he's a little bit older now. He's a little bit more sophisticated with it now. It's like, Daddy, are you going somewhere in the morning? Right. I was like, yeah, I have to go somewhere in the morning. I have to go to work. It's like, no, Dad. I said, I gotta go to work. He said, no, Daddy, no. I said, but I have to go to work. You want me to just stay on? You don't want me to work ever in life? He said, no, Daddy, I don't want you to go to work. Yeah, he's still at it. He's gonna be 5 in a few months. He still doesn't want me to go to work.
He is.
I said, you want me to be a bum? He said, yes, Daddy.
Did he give you a finger? Did he? I didn't see that.
And he crossed his leg when he did it too.
Like no. Well, we actually don't really grow up from that kind of demanding, in a sense.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, same thing. And thing is, girls are much more, vocal and communicative, and they can articulate themselves and they can talk you much faster at a faster rate. Even little girls can talk to their dads at a faster rate.
Oh yeah, we learn the skills. Good. Remember, this is survival skills, right? Survival, and the whole point is that we don't want you to forget about us. There's also a fear of abandonment there going on, because
Right.
if a man does abandon us and forgets about us, then we are in
Yeah.
danger. So
And you're
there
in
is, in
danger.
one sense, there is a natural desire to know that the shepherd, the husband, will come back and be there and
Right.
give us some time. He cannot give
Right.
us no time, right?
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. So yeah. And you're gonna get away from me, and I'm not gonna have no time, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So where we left off at, all right. You know, our guys, I always do this. Okay, so we just all right. So we're up to 6.
Okay.
How has the modern doctrine, right, of
Mhm.
prescriptive monogamy distort women's expectation of a man's time? Now, you guys have been hinting around this. You've been leading to this, nugging to this. This is one of the questions, right? So, how does prescriptive monogamy distort women's expectation of a man's time?
How
Or
did
does
you
it?
do it?
Or does it? Does prescriptive monogamy distort a woman's expectation of the man's time?
Just having one wife, does she distort the expectations?
I mean, what does prescriptive monogamy, or does it communicate to her about what she should expect of being the one and only?
Oh, because you're the one and only, it all belongs to
See,
me.
that once I said the one and only, like, you already knew, Sis D. Look
Yeah,
at you.
it's all mine. It's all mine. We have a brother who can relate to you here. He says, my son will bribe me to him to stop crying. He'll say, bring me fries and juice.
Bring me fries and
Is
juice.
he bribing you too? Oh my gosh. Girls are
Girls do the
yeah.
pouting. Yeah, they
Yeah, it's
do. They
so
do.
true.
Partner equal. Soon it is boss if she is not trained up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to be
Yeah.
careful with that. But
Yes.
again, we learn at little ages, young age, about prescriptive monogamy like that too, because we think that we're going to have this prince that only have us, and I will be his priority, right?
Right.
We're taught that.
Right.
The prescriptive
Right.
monogamy gives the woman the expectation from a young age that all
Right.
your time, I
Right.
can demand it. At least I can
Right.
demand it.
Right. Right. And it's the romance culture, right? Because romance are the playwrights, right? The literary plays, and going back to the 12th, 13th century, right? That took place in, you know, Europe, right? And there were these plays, and in these plays, it was often the portrayal, right? It was a common theme, a plot. There was this portrayal of this damsel that was in distress,
Yeah.
right? And in this play, there was this knight in shining armor, or there was this Roman or Greek god, right? Who would choose her over all other damsels in distress,
True.
right?
That's true.
And then he would sweep her off and put her on the back of his horse, and together they will ride off into the sunset, right? And they will live happily ever after. That's the whole concept of the romance novels, right?
Yeah.
And so that theme still exists even today in a good romance movie, in a good romance novel, right? It is this idea that she will be selected to be the one and only, like he will pass all others.
Yeah.
Right. What was the song? The picture of it is even in this gospel song. It says, Savior, Savior, do not pass me by, while on others thou art calling. Do not pass me. I know I'm chopping the words up, right? But it's the whole concept that, only have attention on me.
Yeah.
But the Savior is omnipresent. He's omnipotent, right? He's omniscient. He can answer your call and a billion other calls at the same time. He's not limited.
He's not limited.
Just the perspective of that song means that he's limited and he's restricted and he can't compartmentalize his time on a divine level.
Can I interrupt you to just promote last Shabbat's Bible dig?
Okay, come on.
That's what we covered. So please look at the
plug.
We're gonna give a plug for it, and we're gonna leave the link in this description for it, because we talked about how the salvation message is brought through or shown through polygyny, and that so you're talking about that Yah came for more than just one.
It came for more than just one, and that's the imagery, right? That's the allegory of Yah being the savior of the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Right. And Yeshua is saying that he has other sheep of other fold that the disciples didn't even know about. You ain't the only one. Who told you thought you was the only one? Then look, Jonah thought that Israel was the only one.
Yeah.
Right. You thought it was Israel for the imagery of Yah saying in the gospel to Abram, through you, all families of the earth are going to be blessed.
All nations.
You will be the father of many nations.
Yes.
Right. Yes. And what are those many nations? Those many nations are brides. Right. To the Yeshua even saying that he would be the bridegroom to these 10 virgins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And so that's the picture of polygyny, right, in the gospel message. And it shows that Yah is not just interested in saving just one nation. He's not just interested in just saving one person. He's not interested in just having one allegorical woman. And so there's no picture of salvation, right, other than the picture of what polygyny can present.
When monogamy is the opposite of that, thinking it's
the opposite. Is selfish. It's about a one world religion. It's about it's about a one ethnic group. It's racist, right? There's just so many negative pictures about prescriptive monogamy, right? That monopolizing the time. There's just so many pictures of it, right? That there's this expectation that Mother Hadley is like, who is that sitting in my seat? I know I came to church late today, and I know ain't nobody sitting up in that's my seat. I've been sitting in that seat for 47 years. Who's sitting in my seat? Right.
But also we think the man as being the workhorse for us. All that he does, all that he produces has to be for me.
Right? Everything is for me.
His money, his inheritance is for my children.
Everything is for me. Exactly. Exactly.
And if I have to share it, it's abuse. If I have to share it.
Right. So now we get to see what the expectation, what prescriptive monogamy leads to. It leads to an animal. It leads to an animal.
Wow.
Which shatters the biblical worldview from Bereshit and forward. Romance equal Roman lunatic.
Really?
Yes. Exactly.
And the brother here says
no parity, not egalitarian. Helper and master can be done with love or care, but strict in hierarchy. And it has to be strict.
So even if you have one wife, though, how do you
listen, I think it's dangerous for a man to be in a monogamous marriage and to allow his woman to think that there will never be a chance that he couldn't have another woman.
Oh, really?
It should always be on the table. Whether if you want to do it or not, choose to do it or not, it should always be on the table.
Okay.
Because just think of the analogy, Sister D. Should a shepherd always think of being a shepherd of only one sheep?
Of course not. And of course not.
Should a farmer invest in 10 acres, dig one hole, and drop only one seed in that one hole out of 10 acres of land, right? And never drop another seed anywhere else in the land?
Or envision doing so? No.
Right.
No.
Or not investing in more land when Yah tells us to subdue the earth, replenish the earth. So you start here in the garden, Adam, but I want you to advance throughout the earth. So from the intent, from the onset, Yah had a vision that land Eden wasn't the only land, right? And the woman allegorically is the land. So that means that, could that mean that Eve wasn't likely intended to be the only woman had he had not sinned, right?
We don't know. But if a man gets with the first one and gives the impression that he'll never spend his time with anybody else,
right, or just close the door, right?
Close the door to it, yeah.
Right. Can a slave close the door on the potential of there being a fellow slave?
No. And how can the company grow if there's only one employee
if there's only one employee? Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's so many analogies that doesn't make sense.
So many analogies. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, well, this definitely gets us. So Genesis 30:15-6 says that Jacob rotated between wives, not letting one woman dominate his presence. Now the women were bargaining for his presence, but he wasn't stressing that he had to be with only Rachel, and we know that he had more of a fondness towards Rachel.
But he obviously slept with the rest of them because they all had children for him.
And they all had children because, them babies kept coming.
And if they didn't come, they knew they weren't coming because he was sleeping with them. So
and the promised seed came through the wife that was less loved.
The least loved. I love that one. Yeah.
The least loved. Thank you. Yeah, the least love, right? Here's a principle here for us. Exodus 21:10. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall not be diminished. So there is an obligation for this man to share his time.
What doesn't mean, but doesn't also mean that, because let's say diminished. So well, that could be, I could see a monopoly on monogamous women. So let's say the first wife said, well, I had him 24/7, so he can't diminish that if he takes another woman. Like, I want the same amount of time I had before.
Well, obviously, but notice here, time is not in the list.
No, it's not on the list. Because if you have more women, obviously you're still gonna have 24 hours in a day. You gotta share it.
But what if he acquires more land?
Yeah, he's gonna have to have.
What if the business demands? What if he becomes the leader of the nation? Right?
Yeah.
You understand? Her time is still going to be reduced. If your men women want their men to become successful, but they don't want to lose time.
They want equally the same amount of time, and they hear all the time.
Even with your man being successful. One of the hardest things for women who are married to men who are celebrities is the fact that the public wants their man's time.
Yeah. But that's the ironic thing about it, is that we admire you when you actually have less time for us, because we admire high value men who are so busy on their mission that they have their time is so valuable that he would give me some time, right?
But that's it. But that's part of the disciplining process. The man has to be not afraid of saying no. In fact, no benefits the relationship and it benefits the woman.
It keeps the attraction, because if every time you tell me yes and you always have time, then I think you don't have anything better to do but to hang out with me. It's kind of boring.
So you lose respect for him, right?
A lot. It's like,
all right, you lose respect. So if you can always count on the fact that he's going to be there whenever you pick up the phone, right, at your beck and call, right? How do you respect that?
You get lower in my ranking all the time until the point that you're like equal to me and then soon below me. Every time I call, you're the no.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, cool. So let's go to the next one. What does David's failure to be at war in his appointed season teach us about the ruin that comes when a man abandons his mission for comfort at home?
So you're talking about when he was with Bathsheba. How did he end up in that situation?
And think about it. David had other women at home.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he?
He had other women at home, right?
Yeah.
But even with having the other women at home, having multiple women at home, right? He still was what? What does David's failure to be at war in his appointed time or his appointed season teach us about the ruin that comes when a man abandons his mission for comfort at home? What do you guys say? What does David abandoning of his time on the battlefield, right, so that he can be back home in comfort, what does that teach us about his failure in doing so? Anybody want to take a crack at it?
Yeah.
What does that teach us?
Is Brother Jeremy still away?
I don't know. Yeah, I think he's still away.
Okay. Yeah, I find it interesting. I mean, why did he not go to war? Sometimes we men have these procrastination of things you really you have to do, but the women are a distraction of pleasure.
Yes. Oh, brother Akyawa said that you got the lyrics right. Pass me not, oh gentle savior. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So
what do you think it teaches us, brother?
Any thought? What does David's failure to be at war in his appointed season teach us about the ruin that comes when a man abandons his mission for a comfort at home? Well, I mean, it opens the door to complacency. And complacency is a very dangerous state, right? That wish for comfort led to the temptation. He couldn't at least see her bathing if he wasn't at home, if he wasn't home. Exactly. But not only that, probably at another point in time, he probably would have resisted her.
You think so?
He was already in a state of compromise.
Because he was not where he's supposed to be.
Not where he was supposed to be. Comfort at the wrong time, exactly, because it puts you in a state of mind, right, where you're compromised, right? You know, so if brother Joe's wife Susie is in my Bible class, right? And she needs some extra help. If I suggest that I could tutor her at 1 a.m. in the morning because we got some quiet time, right? This nice looking wife of Brother Joe, right? The quiet time. What am I putting myself into? What am I putting her into? Right? Am I really gonna be studying? Right? Or
you're making some room for some sin to happen.
Right. Yes.
You're making some provisions for the flesh, like you said.
Right. Did we read this one? That wish for comfort led. Yeah, we did. We read that one. Right. So let's go to the passage that we have. Let's go to the passage that we have. 2 Samuel 11, 1-2. David remained in Jerusalem when kings went to war, leading to sin. Right. So he was where he wasn't supposed to be. Right. And this passage, but put ye on, all right, Yeshua HaMashiach, right, Yadon, and make not provision for the flesh, right, to fulfill the lusts thereof.
And so he did. Yeah, and he did. And right. This brother said his thing. He
made provisions for he provided for his flesh.
Now listen,
his flesh didn't want to go to war. His flesh didn't feel like going. So when you give into the flesh, right, you make provisions for it. What happens is it enables you, it opens the door for you to fulfill the lust thereof.
Wow.
Right. If everyone was home, her husband would have been home too. His mind would not have been there because he would have had respect for Uriah being present.
All the rest of the men, all the men were at war. So all these women.
He was at a state of compromise. He was at a state of compromise. As well as to Brother Yahuel's point, and Brother Gray Bear's point, right, is that he was also at a state of being where he would be tempted, right? Which was seeing her bathe on the roof. He put himself in that place. He took himself out of where he was supposed to be into a place where he fell into temptation. Okay. If Torah commanded men to set aside time for feasts, right? Prayer, fasting, and even laws of separation, what does it say about a man who surrenders all his hours to women instead of setting them apart for Yah?
Is there? Wow. Yeah, there's a set apart time for so many of these things. Why not?
There's so many things that there is set apart time from. There's not enough time to spend all of your time with your woman. It's not enough time.
No. Some of us are doing a feast right now in the feast season, right?
In the feast season, right? And then we know that there were 3 moedim that men specifically, and not necessarily the women, are commanded to be.
Yeah, we can't always be there, but you guys had to be there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And didn't you have to be clean then too, then separated, so therefore no
clean, separated, right? So yeah, it's just not enough time to devote only and solely to your woman or one woman, right? And granted, we didn't even hit this point in polygyny. You can't devote all your time to one woman, because then how are you going to devote time for the other women?
Yeah.
So
and you're not allowed to deny the other ones.
You're not allowed to deny the other woman based on what we read in Exodus 21, right? Right. So in Deuteronomy 16:16 says, 3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before Yahweh thy Elohim. So this mandates all males to appear there. So the man that doesn't appear is putting himself in temptation.
Wow.
Based on the passage. He might see somebody's wife bathing on the roof if he stayed back, right?
And isn't the assembly mostly all men? You said the assembly is men.
Well, the assembly is for the men, right? Men represent their women in the assembly. Women are not a part of the assembly, right? But and that's where a lot of temptation comes in with the church, right? Because you have these men's wives at the church calling themselves or being called part of the assembly, where these women's husbands are not there.
Interesting, eh? And putting themselves in compromise. Oh my gosh.
And they let their women go.
Oh dear.
And every time you turn around, Pastor got her doing something. Pastor got her doing that, right?
Yes, and that's a compromise.
You're putting your woman in temptation, right?
Yes.
Because you're supposed to be her teacher. That's when you're supposed to be spending time with her, right? Right? Sending her off the Bible study because you want to watch the game, right? It's tight, but it's right. Right. All right. When thou fastest, anoint thy head and wash thy face, that thou appear not unto men to fast, but unto thy Father. Okay, I don't even know why that was even there. Right. Okay. All right. So why does a woman instinctively value a mission-driven man? Why does a woman instinctively value a man? We talked about this a little while ago. But why does she instinctively value a mission-driven man?
Because we were created to be helpmates, and we need to have a mission to submit under, to help you. How can I help you if I don't know what you're up to, right? So
right. So, and think about a mission-driven man, right? But if he's not on his mission because he's up under her 24/7, right?
I don't have much respect for that.
Right, you're not gonna have enough. So why does she That's the question. Why does she instinctively value that man?
I think that it has a lot to do with the way that y'all made us, but also the hypergamous needs. So we always desire to
Hypergamous.
look up higher. So if a man has a mission,
What's hypergamous? That's a pretty word. Could you break that word down? What is hypergamous?
hypergamy. Females are hypergamous. We mate in our choices of mate. Think a man that is stronger, wiser, leader, everything higher than us, more than we are on our level. We don't date down. We don't seek a partner that is lower in our mental status. We always seek somebody that is higher in our mental status.
Think about it. You were created for a man with higher status.
To follow you, right? So
Right.
yeah.
But you were created for that because when Yah says it's not good for the man to be alone, right?
Yeah.
What was Adam's status? Did he have a job?
He was
Did he
busy.
have a home? Did he have a home? Right? Did he have
garden.
possessions? Right?
Yeah.
He had a mission. He had all of that.
He had everything.
So she came into a place where the man was established. So from creation, women were designed to be brought into a situation that was established.
Yeah.
And so I think this is the reason why the daughters of Eve instinctively value men who are on a mission.
Yeah. It is just in our nature right away.
It's in the nature. It's in the created nature of a woman. Right.
Yeah.
Having a mission gives room to create status. Right. Women crave the status of his success. Exactly. It's like chasing a carrot. Right. Bunny rabbit chasing the carrot. Right. Okay. So how does Torah warn against becoming enslaved to anyone but Yah?
Is there a warning about that in the Torah?
Is there? It's indirect. It's indirectly there.
Yeah. To have
it's there because Yah wants Israel not to go back the way of Egypt. Deuteronomy 17.
There we go. Yeah.
It's in the Torah, not to be interdependent upon or be enslaved again. Not to be entangled in the way of Egypt again. Right? That's clearly in the Torah. Right? So 1 Corinthians 7:23, you are bought with a price, but not ye the servants of men. Right? Walk in wisdom towards them that are without redeeming the time. Right? So we're called to redeem the time. We're called to walk in wisdom, right? Buy back our time, right? That's what we're called to do. Buy back our time. Why? Because our time should not be owned by some other man or woman, for that matter, right? Because if that's the case, then we won't be of any good use to the master.
And that's the whole point for you. Yeah.
That's the whole point. Proverbs, if Proverbs warns not to give your strength to a woman, how much more dangerous is it for a man to surrender his time to any voice other than Yah's?
So you first have to check on. Oh wow.
It's in the Apocrypha.
The Korah, the golden calf incidents. Yeah, there's a couple comments here. Let me just read it for you. Multiply Balaam and Balak, no other Elohim besides Abba Yah. I'm not quite sure what you mean, the golden calf incident in history. Not quite sure. Maybe this is another conversation. But yes, it warns us not to give your strength. It warns the men not to give their strength because it's dangerous when you
woman.
when you're really, your strength was supposed to be dedicated to serving Yah and his mission,
Mm-hmm.
and we were supposed to be there to help you do so, right?
Right. Right.
So it violates the order of things. Your strength is not really meant for us; it's meant for Yah's purpose.
With y'all's purpose. Right. Right. So this one right here is Sirach. Let me pull this one up.
You gonna do that? Okay. Sirach. I like that Apocrypha book. I got to read it. It's very
Yeah. All right. So Sirach 26. Hold on a second. Let me go back. 26, 18. 18 and okay. No, that's not it. I'm sorry, it's 27, 19 to 27. It's not here in that one. Let me go back here. Right, because some manuscripts has these verses here and others don't, right? Here it goes, verse 19, and it says this. It says, "My child, stay healthy while you are young, and don't give your strength to strangers." So, Proverbs says, "Don't give your strength to a woman," right?
very similar.
Proverbs says, "Don't give your strength to strangers." So that could be anyone. Right. So there's this theme about not allowing yourself to become enslaved by others, right? That 1 Corinthians 7:23. I'm going to read that in context because I think that's very important.
You know,
That's very important. 23. Let me read that in the NASB 95. Okay. Sister D, can you read this from the
you got to change the screen.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Okay, hold on a second.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, so each man must remain in the condition in which he was called.
All
Where
right, so
you
stop right there. Let's stop right there. So when you were called, is that when you were first summoned to repent and surrender your life to Yeshua, right? When you were first called, right? When you were called to conversion.
Okay.
All right, verse 21.
Were you called while a slave?
Okay,
Do
so
not
some
worry
men,
about it.
hold on a second. Some men, when they were called, they were slaves when they were called, right? So he's asking the rhetorical question to the Corinthians: when you were called, were you a slave, right? And the next verse, and the next sentence says, "What, Sister D? Do not
worry about it. But if you are able, also become free. Rather do that."
So men, when you came to Yeshua or when you came to Torah, were you a slave to your woman? Were you a slave to your woman? Was she monopolizing all your time? Were you a simp? Were you a slave to the simp plantation? Right?
Interesting. Were you in?
Plantation of simping or simphood, simptism, right? Do not worry about it, he says. But if you are able also to become free, rather do that. If you're able to do it, right? Verse 22.
For he who was called in the Lord while a slave is the Lord's free man. Likewise, he who was called while free is Christ's slave.
So in Messiah, although you recognize now in your calling, you were also a slave to monopolizing your time to your woman. Don't worry about that. If you're able to gain your freedom. And you must recognize inside your mind, when you were called to be the Lord's freeman, the Messiah's freedman, right? He says, likewise, he who was called while free is Messiah's slave. So you're called to be his slave, not your woman's slave. He is your head. You're her head. She should be your slave, right? Is the point that he's defining.
Oh dear, are you making another statement? Big bold.
I mean, based on the analogy, right?
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
Based on the analogy, that's the point. So you were bought.
You were bought with a price. Do not become slaves of men.
So you were bought with a price. Don't become a slave to your woman. Don't become a slave to your woman.
Now you got this revelation. Now, brethren, each one of you to remain with God. Each one is to remain with God in the condition in which he was called.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
So,
my oh my.
My oh my. Right. My oh my. So, a takeaway that we have is, do we have any comments? No.
Yes. Let's see here, brother.
These are incidents where the Most High shut down us giving our strength to another Elohim. It's reflective of women to their man. Exactly.
When we give our strength to Elohim,
the inversion that the Hasatan has done is flipped it upside down, right? In society. My examples were in reference to the sentiment Korah was trying to.
Oh, in that story of Korah, when they're trying to tempt them to worship another god.
To worship another god, right?
Yeah.
Right. My apologies. The examples of Balaam, Korah, the golden calf are examples of us giving our strength to another Abba. Yah didn't tolerate it. It's reflective of women giving their strength to another man.
Interesting.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
But the problem is, Ak, is that men are giving their strength to another which is their women. So women become idolized in the eyes of men, right? In the minds of men, women become idolized. As in the case of Samson and Delilah. Once Adam listened to hearken to the voice of his woman, what did he create in her, in his home, over Yah? He created her. He created her to be an idol.
Right? Yeah.
And so the commandment against idolatry is not to even whatever it is that we imagine. So, in the third commandment, we're not even to imagine a graven image. So anything that we imagine to be an idol in our minds is an idol to us. And that's the problem. And it could be a woman, it could be your money, it could be so many things, right? Anything that goes against Yah is an idol in your mind, because that's a thing that you set before him.
Well, now it's time to redeem your time.
Now it's time to redeem your time. Exactly. So what are we saying here? Oh, no, we didn't do our takeaway. Hold on a second. So the takeaway for the brothers: if you let a woman monopolize your time, you're not just losing hours, you're losing your leadership. Right? Her respect and missing Yah's purpose for your life. Right? A man of Yah guards his time because his mission is bigger than her demands.
You gotta remind yourself of that, eh?
You gotta remember that, right? Say it again. If you let a woman monopolize your time, you're not just losing hours, you're losing your leadership, her respect for you, and missing Yah's purpose for your life, right? A man of Yah guards his time because his mission is bigger than her demands. So what are we saying here? What are we saying here today? What are we saying here?
That what you have to do here, men, is bigger than spending all your time with your woman. The first thing, and Brother Allen and Sister D know this, what Brother Pete says in the group: no mission, no women. No women, no mission, no women. So he repeats it over. But no, the first one is the knowledge. If you know your mission, then you would know how to properly handle your woman, as far as like your time and your resources and things like that. But if you have no mission, then you need not have no women.
No women.
You ain't got no
Right.
time to waste anyway.
Right. Exactly. And you must know the condition of your flock. So you need to know what type. You need to dwell with your woman according to understanding. You need to know what type of woman that you have. Right. So you have to be able to use discernment because you understand her. Yeah. Right. And what do you who are watching in the playback, what do you say about this topic? Is it possible for a woman to monopolize a man's time? Some of you brothers that are watching, is your woman monopolizing your time? Well, there's hope. But if you have any comments concerning this, or you have any questions or disagreements, please write in the comments section below. We'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So now for announcements. Right. We don't have Shabbat morning Bible dig this coming Shabbat, but we do resume next week, Monday, and we have a new topic, Sister D.
The topic for Monday is: should polygamous men hire out their wives to the benefits of other men?
Should polygamous men hire out their wives to the benefit of other men? Okay. All right. Good. That's going to be an interesting one. Definitely. It is one that is using language of like a company, or maybe a slave master or a shepherd, right? I mean, a shepherd can, hire out his, rent out his sheep, right, to another shepherd, right? Just as well as a master can rent out or hire out his slave to another plantation owner or master, right? They can do that. It's something that is done, something that has been done, right? But the question is, should a man be hiring out the helpmeet that Yah has given to him? That's what we're going to deal with the next time.
Coming up next.
That's money. Yes.
And I just want to encourage you all to leave a thumbs up on the way out. Thank you so much for engaging in the conversations, all these brothers. And I see that you got the algorithm going today.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
Yes. And do remember, if you have not, emailed me ever before, please email me. This is my email address, because we're building an email list, because we cannot depend on YouTube. They have flagged the channel. And as a result of the channel being flagged, they're not sending out notifications all the time. Some of you may have noticed that there have been streams that we've been doing or videos that we put out, and you didn't even get any notifications for it. So to counter that, curtail that, to work around that, we need to be able to communicate with you guys whenever we create new content, or we're doing something different or new. You'll be informed. You'll be abreast to what's going on here on Digging in the Word, right? And so if you need to reach Sister Deborah at Call for Wisdom, this is her channel. Definitely going over, like, share, subscribe. Definitely, they not only have they been flagging my channel, shadow banning my channel, same thing has been happening with hers. So definitely you need to go in over. You can get her email address from her channel in the homepage, and you can send her a message if you want to stay in contact with her in terms of what work and what videos that she's putting out on her channel. So definitely do that. And definitely Brother Jeremy, if you want to go on over to his channel and look at his content, like, share, subscribe, and definitely share with others. Don't keep that love to yourself. And Brother Noah wasn't here with us tonight, but this is his channel. Go like, share, and subscribe. And Brother Tony, he's in school now. Going over to his channel, like, share, and subscribe. This is his channel. I guess we hit all in the cylinders. Is there anything that I'm leaving out?
No, but shalom. Good night, brothers. Brother Manolo, thank you for being around. Brother Arki Halal, Brother Beard, thank you so much, for participating. We had a lot of good conversations here. And Brother Jeremy, it was always nice having you around too.
Yes. All the time.
Ditto to you, Sister D.
Good. Great. I had a good time here tonight. How about you? If you had a good time tonight, please put a 1 in the chat. Let's stimulate the algorithm and hit us with a shalom in it as you on your way going out. Definitely want to. So yeah, let's do this. Got a messages coming in. All right, so the ones are coming in. All right. Yeah. Yes. All right. Good. You put a 2. Well, yeah, had a great time. Great. All right. Thanks. Thank you. Sword of the Lord. Blessings to you. Good. Thank you. All right. So, Brother Jay, could you be so kind to close us out with a word of prayer?
Yes, sir. Abba Yahuwah, we thank you for tonight, Father. We want to thank you for bringing us into your truth, especially for your word tonight. Through it, I know I've gotten revelation, and I pray that everybody else watching the stream got revelation from it as well. And also a deeper knowledge, Father, into how we as men should operate first by seeking your kingdom first, and everything else should be handed unto us, Lord. I pray for the brothers that are not here, and I pray for those in the audience who are not here with us on this Masculinity Monday. I ask, Lord, that you cover them with your complete entire armor so that they may be able to stand in this evil day, Father. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, so let it be.
Amen. Thank you. All right, folks, brothers, family. That's it. All right, for King and Kingdom, we bid you shalom. Blessings to you. Have a blessed week, you and yours. And until we meet again.
Blessings.